We are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for being here. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over social media, all over everywhere. There's a whole lot happening. Did you guys see that very sad Joe Biden speech? I'm talking about super sad. Come on, sir. There's got to be something that you look forward to when you get up in the morning. Like you about to just start busting out crying. It was crazy. So, yeah, very sad speech. But did you watch it? I saw some of it, unfortunately. It was really, really weird. We'll talk about that in a minute. Stacy Dash, the actress best known for her work in Clueless, is having a slight change of heart. Doesn't really want to be involved in politics. Is and/or was a big Trump supporter. And it's like, hey, you guys are putting me into a box. I really don't belong there. I don't really want to be involved in politics. I can't say I really blame her, because I saw her speak live, and I think she's better off not necessarily being in politics, although she could still be somewhat political. I'll talk about what I mean by that in a minute. Also, Sarah Silverman, not really having a change of heart. It's just frustrated that her side, the Democratic Party, are not going far left enough, in my humble opinion. She wants them to go a little bit further. Also, the concerned college professor, just wanting the best for her black students, doesn't really understand why they're underperforming. We'll talk about all those issues and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, I thank y'all for joining. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show. Thank y'all for being here. If you enjoy the content in general, if you enjoyed what you have heard thus far, go ahead and like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. This show will be available on audio only on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether it be Apple, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. A link for that will be in the description box below as well. And again, thank y'all for joining. Oh, if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on. I think YouTube allowed me to get some new subscribers. So, hey, thank you, YouTube. I appreciate you. So we're getting close to 800,000. So if you've not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that right now. And tell a friend to subscribe as well. I most certainly appreciate it. But we got a whole lot happening all over the place, all over the internets. And I think I want to start with the very sad Biden speech first. That's my first entry into tonight, the very sad Biden speech. I heard there was another one as well, another Biden speech. I didn't see it, but I heard there was another Biden speech. This guy, it's like, okay, what are we doing? Are we trying to be the anti-Trump? When Trump would come out, sometimes he would come out not necessarily so energetic and, happy and bouncy, but it wouldn't be like there's no hope. The speech could be serious and he would have a solemn expression, but it wouldn't be like, I'm sad and I want to just end it all. It'd be like, we're going to be tough. We're going to face this head on. It wasn't like, oh, the old folks and they can't get it. It's not like sappy and get ready to start crying, which is what Joe Biden was giving on that speech. It was only like 24 minutes long, a so-called primetime speech right around 8 p.m. Eastern time. Did not take any questions. It's just really strange. And Biden doesn't talk to the press at all. He might come out there for a little bit, give his 2 cents, and then go back to the basement or wherever he exists. Okay, that's pretty much what Biden does. With that speech, I'm not a fan of, not in the least bit. Not just because I'm conservative and I don't like Biden or his policies, not just that. I'm talking about just if it's a good speech, then I'm going to give it some credit. Like Barack Obama, I am not a Barack Obama fan. I dislike Barack Obama and Joe Biden, I would say equally. To me, they're the same person. I don't really see a difference. One's older than the other, pretty much. But Barack Obama would give excellent speeches. Excellent speeches as far as, not the content, obviously, but as far as his delivery and his tone, his ability to be able to read a teleprompter was A1. Now, if it ain't no teleprompter or any words in front of him, he's going to be stumbling and bumbling. He can't talk live like I'm talking right now and be pretty coherent. But if it's a teleprompter, oh, he's the best. He's the best teleprompter reader, the best pre-written speech reader I've ever seen in my life, Barack Obama. On the other hand, Joe Biden is stumbling and bumbling, not very sure, sad, just kind of ridiculous. And then the content of the speech was crazy. trying to take credit for the vaccine. Sir, how can you take credit for the vaccine when you got not one but 2 shots of the vaccine prior to your inauguration date? How did that happen? How are you going to take credit for a thing that you got that was given to you before you became the president? How does that work? Okay, it's Trump. Trump is the reason why you have the vaccine. Now, I'm not a vaccine fan. Don't get that twisted. But to those that are vaccine fans and have taken the vaccine and want the vaccine, who gave you that? It was not Joseph R. Biden, whatever his name is. It was not him. It was not Barack Obama. It was not George W. Slick Willie, Al Gore, Greta Thunberg. And by the way, have you heard that Greta Thunberg was writing letters to the Unabomber in the penitentiary? What's going on with that? You got an 18-year-old, just turned 18, writing this man love letters. You watching Netflix, what was that, the Kaczynski story? Like, what's really going on? But I digress. The whole point is that nobody did that other than Trump. Operation Warp Speed, that was Trump. That was him. Okay, and it's funny how Biden wants to throw Trump under the bus, although indirectly, but he still has Anthony Fauci on deck. Anthony Fauci, before the inauguration, came out and said that whatever he told Donald Trump, he went and told the American people. So if you believe Anthony Fauci and he's not a liar, Joe Biden, then you have to believe that whatever Trump did is due in large part to Anthony Fauci, who's still on your team. So if you think Trump did not do a good job, if the rollout was not very good, then you got to blame your guy, Anthony Fauci. And also, the guy that is his virus senior advisor, Andy Slavitt, came out and said that he gives Trump credit for Operation Warp Speed, tips the hat, saying, hey, man, thank you. We appreciate it. Great job. So how was it that Anthony Fauci says that whatever Trump was told from us, he went out there and did, and he's still on the Biden team, and Biden's senior advisor says that Trump did a good job. And Biden himself got the vaccine shot not once but twice before he became the president, which was a direct result of Trump and Operation Warp Speed. How do you have all those things happen and then still try to throw Trump under the bus? It's so dumb. But you know what? The dumber part of all of this is that the Democrat leftists that like Joe Biden, that are just totally blind to logic, not everyone. You got some sane Democrats out there. You got a handful of sane Democrats, and shout out to y'all. I appreciate you guys. Although we disagree politically, you can still have a mind and look at what something is, if it's real or if it's fake. But some weak-minded Democrats will eat up whatever Joe Biden says. Okay, Joe Biden can say that the sun is green and purple with blue streaks, like somebody that has no gender, and then they'll be like, yeah, that's right. I don't see this big yellow, white, whatever color it is, really, fireball in the sky. I'm seeing blue and green and polka dot and purple and everything else because Joe Biden tells them that. And it's not even Joe Biden speaking. We know that Joe Biden is pretty much a husk, like the roach from Men in Black. Remember that whole thing when the spaceship came down and the man was outside farming and it was like these big giant roaches inside and they did like the invasion of body transfers on his body. The roach became the man. That's pretty much Joe Biden right now. The Democratic Party has become Joe Biden. Joe Biden could be a whole CGI thing at this particular point in time. He could be a whole hologram and nobody would really know the difference because he's not in control of himself. It's the Democratic Party in control of what's happening. But the speech was just really sad, doom and gloom, not a whole lot there. He did not speak on some of the most obvious thing, the kids in the cages and Andrew Cuomo. That's a really big situation happening right now. What we up to number 7? We having 7 accusers. Now, I'm not saying that Anthony, what's his name? Is his name Anthony? Oh, Andrew, pardon me, Anthony Fauci. I'm not saying that Andrew Cuomo is guilty of anything because I don't know that. I don't have the evidence in front of me. I don't know nothing. All I'm saying is that you got 7 accusers. Now, if this were Brett Kavanaugh, we all know what Andrew Cuomo would say. Oh, this is appalling. He needs to step down. He needs to not accept confirmation. We need to have somebody else in there. He said that. He put a letter out there. Andrew Cuomo himself put a letter out there talking about all these allegations against this man. This could not stand. And when he got confirmed, he said it was a dark day in American history. So if all you have is allegations against Brett Kavanaugh before he became the Supreme Court justice, and you got the same thing here in the Andrew Cuomo case, then Andrew Cuomo must be judged the same way that he judged Brett Kavanaugh. or else people that supported what Andrew Cuomo did back then are hypocrites. But he has pretty much everybody coming out against him. I saw Bill de Blasio, a lot of lefties are coming out against him. But we all know what the real problem is with Andrew Cuomo. It's not even this whole, accuser, Jeffrey Epstein casting. It's not even about that. It's about the nursing home deaths. They're trying to overshadow that. See, they're throwing them away, meaning the Democratic Party, they're throwing Andrew Cuomo away, but not because of what he actually did, which is all the thousands upon thousands of nursing home deaths from the virus. That's not even it. It's because of this whole thing here. But the reality is that they don't want him to be there because the nursing home thing will bite them in the hind parts when they don't want it to do that. Midterm elections next year. What are they going to say? Okay, you got this guy in here who's toxic. He's a cancer. You got to get him out of here. So they got to just go ahead and throw him away right now. It's a sacrifice. They do that to anybody on their side that poses a risk to them in the upcoming election. Friend or no friend, I don't care. Bill de Blasio could be his best friend. He can go to his wedding. He can go golfing with him. He can go sleep on his couch. It's really irrelevant because when it comes to those elections, we got to get these seats filled. We got to get things rocking and rolling. So you can't be in the way, sir. So we're going to go ahead and throw you away. People are being excited for Andrew Cuomo possibly being recalled. Same thing as Gavin Newsom. But my question to you would be this. If Gavin Newsom and or Andrew Cuomo are recalled, who's going to replace them? I'm hearing rumors. Well, before this whole thing happened, I was hearing rumors about what's my man's name? Andrew Yang. I was hearing about Andrew Yang possibly running for mayor of New York City. Now, what if he decided rather than trying to become the mayor, he'll slide in there and try to become the governor? Now, do you want Andrew Yang to be the governor of New York? I don't think so. I mean, we all know what kind of a dirtbag Bill de Blasio and Andrew Cuomo are, but the question is who will replace them? A prime example is what they did, what they were doing in Portland, Oregon, the race over there for the mayor. Okay, you got Ted Wheeler. We know Ted Wheeler is a loser, real soft. It's funny because I think I saw an article today where they said that Ted Wheeler was trying to get $2 million approved to fight crime after he defunded the police by $16 million. So you're trying to get $2 million under $16 million. I mean, what's the point in defunding if you're going to go back and refund? It's silly. But anyway, you probably need a whole 14. Matter of fact, you might need 20 because now you got to try to get cops to come back and replace the ones that left and get better technology to fight the increased crime. But that's a different story. I digress. The whole point is that you have all these people that are up for being replaced, recalled, or whatever. Who's going to fill their shoes? Ted Wheeler was up for election in Portland as a mayor, and it was a young lady that was facing them who was an admitted Antifa member. She went on TV and said, yes, I am Antifa, on TV during the debate. So it's not me making it up. I'm not just trying to draw correlations because of how she looks. You know, you can imagine how a young lady that says she's Antifa looks, okay? The blue hair, the communist attire, that type of wave, the pronouns, these, them, zers, there, whatever the pronouns they want to use, okay, that's pretty much who this young lady was, right? So it's like, okay, do you want just kind of a soft normie and Ted Wheeler, or do you want a ridiculous anarchist, a communist, and this lady over here with a dress on that has communist leaders on it, Mao Zedong, Pol Pot, Idi Amin? Is that who you want to be the mayor? I mean, that is truly the lesser of two evils, but it's really just that, a lesser of two evils. One guy, soft lefty normie versus a communist. Take your pick. You don't even have the option of being able to get a conservative in there because it's still free out of Washington. I mean, pardon me, Portland, Oregon. It's still Portland, Seattle, all the same thing. Los Angeles, San Francisco, it's all the same thing. So you got to just try to find the least radical person to place in power rather than the most radical person. All right. Beat, bop, boop. Exactly. That's the pronouns right there. Shout out to Gina Carreno. My pronouns are beat, bop, boop. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. So overall, it's looking pretty bleak for Andrew Cuomo. But hey, I can't really, say I'm going to cry him a river. It is what it is. I just hope that whoever goes in office next, if he is resigned or if he resigns voluntarily, whatever it is, hopefully whoever is placed in there is better than him. Same thing with Bill de Blasio of New York. People, they hate the mayor so much, hate the governor so much. When I say people, I mean those on the left. They hate them so much, but they don't understand that it's them that voted for him. They wanted their policies. If they get him out of there and get someone else in there that does worse, although they thought they would be better on paper, what is that going to do? People are going to kind of be, politically homeless. And that's a great segue into the whole Sarah Silverman kerfuffle. Now, Sarah Silverman, you guys may know, is a comedian. I can't say she's like a gut busting, super funny Eddie Murphy type person, or Dave Chappelle. I can't really say that, but she's a comedian. She's had work for a long time. I guess she's a famous person. I guess she has some kind of podcast or something like that on Twitter. It's got to be a podcast because I see her with the Shure M7 or S17B. So she has a nice microphone, nice little setup, and she's talking into the mic. She's recording herself, and also she's recording herself video and audio, right? So I guess it's a podcast. But in this little Twitter podcast, she's talking about how the Democratic Party have gone in a really weird direction. And, well, actually, what she was saying without directly saying it is that the Democratic Party are not going in a weird direction, although she wants them to. That's what I got from what she said. And if you've not seen my video, I'll try to play it right quick so you guys can hear what I'm talking about. Just right quick. Again, this is Sarah Silverman, the comedian. And we're going to go ahead and put her video on the screen. Wrong window. Let me get the correct window. That'd be good. And if you guys are not watching, you can still hear the audio. It's pretty clear. There we go. That's your buddy, good old buddy right there, Sarah Silverman. And let's go ahead and get this clip rocking and rolling.
It's the absolutistness.
Oh, there is some cussing. If it's cussing, it's not my fault. You got to blame the white man.
Of the party I am in. That is such a turnoff to me. It's so elitist. For something called progressive, it allows for zero progress.
See right there, that's the key right there. For something called progressive, there is zero progress. Well, what do you want to see as far as progress? What does progress mean to you? High minimum wage, Medicare for all, this Bernie Sanders, AOC type stuff. Is that what you want to see? I think she's frustrated about that not necessarily being the way forward. But let's keep on going and see what she says.
It's all or nothing. No steps toward. All or fucking. Again, righteousness porn. And I've been thinking about this a lot, just in general. I don't know that I want to be associated with any party.
Now, when she says that, what does that really mean? What it means is, hey, the Democratic Party, they're not doing really right. And I've become disillusioned to the whole political thing because the party that I want to support, the leftists aren't far left enough. And I don't want to be a Republican. And I don't know anything about any other party. So I'm just going to be unaffiliated. That's pretty much what I get from it. This is not really a red pill moment. Although some people are having moments like this that are different than this, which are actually true red pill moments.
I think I don't want to be associated with any party anymore. It comes with too much baggage. Every party, it comes with so much baggage that no ideas can be taken at face value. And without ideas, what are we? Without a common truth, how can we talk about it?
A common truth.
Republicans might hear an idea that they would totally agree with, but if it comes from AOC, then they hate it.
Let's pause right there. Now, there was an idea that AOC had that Ted Cruz agreed with. Remember during the whole Robin Hood kerfuffle when AOC was talking about, hey, what's going on with Robin Hood? Are you guys censoring stocks? What's really going on? Like, this shouldn't be happening. There should be an investigation. Let's, get into it. And as a matter of fact, I think Ted Cruz, if I could find that, let me put it on the screen right quick. Ted Cruz was like, hey, I agree. Ted Cruz says, I agree. Let me find that right quick. Okay, hold on. Ted Cruz was like, hey, I agree with that. And here is the tweet I'm talking about right there. It's kind of hard to see. Oh, this is another one. This is an older tweet. This is the one I was talking about. This is from 2019, but there was one earlier this year where he agreed with AOC about the whole Robinhood stock thing. But when he did that, she quickly shot that whole olive branch down and was like, well, look, you tried to have me killed at the Capitol, so sit this one out. I'm not really trying to hear what you got to say. So it's like, okay, you want to use AOC as an example of if there was something that we agreed on with AOC, we wouldn't say it because it's AOC, but when we do it, we get shot down. So it's like, how can we win? If we, the lack of bipartisanship comes from the left. That's just what it is. Don't try to include us in it. What you're experiencing right now, Sarah Silverman, is a left versus left issue. You're being conflicted within your own party. It's not involving us. It's y'all. We try to extend the olive branch, but when it's not accepted, what are we to do?
And of course, to be honest, when I hear an idea that comes from a Republican, it's suspect to me.
Of course, it's the same way to all y'all. You're not unique.
We all put too much shit stuff.
I was too slow to trigger.
We no longer are able to be a nation of ideas.
Okay, so that was that. So now that was her really just being frustrated at her own party. Nothing to do with us over here. Now, there may be some infighting over here on the right, the rhinos and all those kind of people, but it's not like it is on the left. I saw an article today from the press where they're talking about, there's 5 different camps that have emerged ever since Biden became the president, talking about there's super Trump boosters and Trump supporters. It was really weird. Just things that don't even exist. Things that aren't really there. If there's any camps, you have the people that are like your Mitt Romneys, your pure 100% establishment, don't really care. You got them, and then you have those that aren't. That's pretty much what it is. But it's not that much fighting. We're generally on one page. On the left, on the other hand, they got some serious issues. And I think Sarah Silverman is feeling that crunch. But she's not a normie. She's a far leftist person, in my humble opinion. Now, the regular leftist normies, they're feeling the pinch right now. Or they're feeling that pinch because they got all kind of weird things happening to them on that side. Critical race theory is creeping on the come up. I'm going to talk about that in a minute because I got to get to that college professor. That is a very big topic right on top of my mind right now. I got to get it off my chest. But critical race theory is creeping on the come up. You also have things like teaching 5-year-olds about sexuality, which should not be happening. If you have a 5-year-old, maybe they should be playing with Barbie dolls and X-Men figures and just being little boys and girls, and it shouldn't be involved with adult things. You have adults that don't even understand themselves when it comes to that side of themselves. You got adults that's like 40 years old still trying to figure that part out. So how would a 5-year-old whose brain is still developing and can barely, read, write, draw, all of that, how can they understand a very serious adult topic like that? Or changing the gender and stuff like that. You got these Zaya Wades out there. You have Women's History Month, and you got a bunch of big chins out there representing women. So, okay, I'm watching TV, minding my business. Here comes a commercial talking about women's history. Yeah, okay. You got women of color all over the place, like 80% of the commercial, women of color, and that's fine. Okay. But then right in the middle of it, I'm seeing a big chin woman of color. I'm like, what's going on with this? This is Lawrence Taylor right here. What's happening? This is not a woman. But I digress. The whole point is that kind of narrative is being pushed on children. So regular normie leftists are like, all right, I'm out. I don't want to deal with this. All right. I'm a leftist because I thought they were like for equality and anti-racism, but we've gone way too far beyond what I thought it was going to be. And shout out to my man, Vernon Jones. He has felt that. He's like a normie leftist. He's a politician, but he's still a normie leftist. And he was like, hey, I've been a lifelong Democrat, but I did not leave that party. They left me. I was a regular person doing my thing, but they left me. So you have guys out there that are like that for real. And the problem she spoke about is a real problem. But the issue is, it's not really for her necessarily, because she is wanting the party to go all the way far to the left. She's not a normie. All right. If that makes any sense. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the next thing, which is this teacher at Georgetown Law. Now, you guys, I did a video on it. You guys may have seen it. But this one really, really just kind of, it set off the spidey senses, because I know what's going on here. You know, we already did the video about Baltimore where the young man had a 0.3 GPA, a 0.13 GPA, and he was ranked 62 out of 120 in his graduating class. Quote unquote graduating, because he's a senior, yes, but he's not going to graduate. And if he was going to graduate, it wouldn't make a difference. It's like, what's the point in graduating when when your GPA, you can't even achieve a GPA above 0 point something. But anyway, so the professor at Georgetown Law was concerned that her black students always underperform. This is college, obviously, Georgetown Law School. Her black students always underperform. Not all of the black students. She said some of them do very well. And like I said in my video, that's probably the African kids mostly, but that's a different story. A lot of the black kids underperform, and she's just trying to figure out why, what's going on. Now, she said it from a place of concern. She wasn't just trying to say, she wasn't trying to say it with glee or excitement or from a place of condemnation. She's just trying to figure out what's going on. Why is it happening? But, and her colleague was on a Zoom call with her, and I guess the Zoom call got recorded and uploaded for some reason. I'm not sure who was able to record it or what's going on, but regardless, her colleague was on the Zoom call with her, and he agreed, and he was like, well, is it my own unconscious bias? And that's a critical race theory term, unconscious bias. And like I said, critical race theory as it relates to unconscious bias is basically you get taught, if you're a white person, you may be racist and unaware of your racism because you have unconscious bias. You see things in a way and you act on how you see things just instinctively. You don't even know it. You see a black person, you think something automatically. It's not intentional or purposeful, but it does happen. Therefore, you're a racist. So that's the general thing. If you're a white guy, you're a racist regardless, whether you're open racist, closet racist, an unknown racist, latent racist, potential racist, you're a racist. So that's what it is. So to see the man agree with what she said and then spout out critical race theory lets me know that it's not even, they're not trying to be racist really. They're actually trying to figure out what's going on. Now, the issue is K through 12. Like I said in the video, if from K through 12, you've been told a lie about your education, even before K through 12, before that, where's your early education? You got kids that get to be first grade, kindergarten age, really, kindergarten, first grade age, who can't read at all. I'm talking about they can't write their own name. When I was in kindergarten, I could write my own name. I can write Anthony and, I can color in the lines. I could count to 10. I had early education. A lot of parents, especially in the black community, don't do that. They think that it's the school's responsibility to teach you everything. But what they don't understand is that a lot of parents are teaching their kids before they get to school about basic things, putting them in front of Sesame Street and reading Rainbow and giving the flash. I had all of that. I had flashcards, reading Rainbow, Sesame Street, the Simon game for memory. I had books, all of that when I was a little boy, 1, 2, 3 years old. My mama read to me as a little boy in the womb, all of that. So I already had 5, 6 years of preparation before I got to K through 12. A lot of these kids have 0. So they go into the whole thing behind. Before they even get to kindergarten, they're behind. And a lot of these big brains say, if you get to the 3rd grade and you can't read or you're struggling with reading, it's pretty much over. Some kids may beat the odds, of course. You have your exceptions. But if you get to the 3rd grade and you can't really read, it's over. It's pretty much done. Called a wrap. Might as well be an auto mechanic or something like that. Nothing wrong with that, not at all. So don't get that twisted. If you want to be an auto mechanic or a welder, you can make a great, honest living doing that. But don't try to be some kind of big brain lawyer and go to Georgetown Law. That's the point. But anyway, getting back to it, a lot of these same kids that have no education from K through 12, they often go to schools where they're graded on a curve, basically, because they're given really easy work. And the analogy I used was, if you go from K through 12 being trained to play T-ball, but your counterparts you're going to run into once you get to college are playing fast pitch softball, once you both meet in college, you're going to be behind. Because while you were just hitting the ball off the tee, doing that, thinking you hitting home runs and doing a great job, your future colleagues are playing fast pitch softball. They got Pedro Martinez on the mound, throwing them 100-mile-an-hour sinkers, curveballs, fastballs, all of that at your head, like right there, like a sniper. Like, see, they're doing that, and they're being trained like that. And the Asian kids, oh my God, like they're really on it. When you go to Japan, Korea, oh, they are dead serious. They working like grown men when they're little kids. So how are you going to compete with that? If you spending your time playing basketball, like when I was in a debate with Destiny, if you guys saw that debate, and he was saying a lot of these black kids need more gyms to do better in school. I was like, I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because that's the dumbest thing. That's what we don't need is the gym. All we do is play basketball and don't do no homework, don't go to school, no reading from an early age. And then once we get to college, we're surprised that we can't read. That's, the parents' fault, number one, because you gotta have your kid in the best area, the best status to be able to succeed. Even if you're in the low income area, you can still do okay. I grew up in a low income area. That didn't stop me from, watching Reading Rainbow or Sesame Street. This is free stuff. Okay. You got parents that got phones to be on Facebook doing TikTok challenges, a silhouette challenge, and it's always a new challenge, a new dance. If you can do the challenges, the dances, all kind of stuff like that, show that you could take a little bit of time and do some flashcards or Reading Rainbow or something like that. And you don't even got to be there. You could be at work and just set it on an automatic timer and come on. But we don't do that, and that's the problem. So once you get to college and the black kids are struggling, you got to ask yourself why. And also, before we get to that, the question is, how do these kids who have an inferior education get into a Georgetown Law? It's because your SAT tests are also graded on the curve for your race. All right. Ivy Leagues and top tier schools in America are overwhelmingly white and Asian. And Asian can mean from the Indian subcontinent, China, Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia, but mostly Indian subcontinent, China, Japan, Korea. That's generally what it is, right? So the whites and Asians do better than the blacks and Hispanics. So it's not about being racist. If it's about being racist, why not be racist against the people from the Indian subcontinent who look just like me? All right. Like my man, Dr. Shiva, looks just, we got the same skin tone. All right. But look, we could be brothers from another mother. But he's Asian, I'm black. So why is he doing better than me? What's going on? Because when he was a little boy, he probably was being taught by his mother and his father to do well. And it was a serious thing, right? That's what's going on. But you get graded on an effective curve when it comes to the SAT, because in the admissions, you have other things that come into place aside from your SAT score. You got things like your race comes into play. Oh, yeah, because they want to know your race first. Also, personality. They were doing that, I think, in Harvard. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. The personality test, if you score low on that, it could affect your ability to get admitted. And a lot of the Asian students were doing very poorly on just that one part. They did everything else well. The SAT, all the other metrics of admission, they did very well, except for the personality. That's what prevented them from being able to get there. But the blacks and Hispanics did better in that part, although they had lower SAT scores. And that's why you're seeing things like math is racist. That's a common thing to say. math is racist. We got to quote unquote decolonize math. And, I saw one thing where it said, if you expect kids to do well in reading and the SAT, that's racist. Matter of fact, they say the SAT is racist. Here, all I did was Google SAT racist. All I did right here. And I put the results on the screen so you can see that I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, let's just scooch over a little bit if I can. Let me try to do that. And here it is. History of the SAT reflects racism, systemic racism, opinion. SAT math scores mirror and maintain racial inequity. Dismantling white supremacy includes ending racist tests. The history of the SAT is mired in racism and elitism. Lawsuit claims SAT and ACT are biased, widening racial scoring gap on the SAT. SAT have a problematic and racist history fueled by what? White supremacy? Fueled by what? I don't even know. So you see what's going on here. All right. It's an issue. There's a book about this phenomenon where you have blacks and Hispanics placed in the colleges where they are not really suited for, called mismatch. So when you get the black and Hispanic kids that go to these colleges with a lower SAT score, poor academic performance, they're going to be at the bottom of the class all the time. That's what the teacher was complaining about. It's like, why are these kids doing so poorly? It's because they don't belong at that school. They should go to a school that's best suited for them, rather than going to a rigorous program that's very difficult, that's beyond their SAT score. Because these kids aren't necessarily dumb. They're just not built for that high level of a course. So go to a regular school in your state. Go to South Carolina. Go to Florida. Go to ODU, where I went. Norfolk State, where I tried to go. Go somewhere like that. Or don't even go to college. A lot of these kids are smart enough to just start working on their own, start their business. I know plenty of kids that are super smart, like 20, 21-year-old kids right now getting six figures, no college, that probably wouldn't do well in college. So you got to figure out what's best for you. Don't let these, advisors steer you the wrong way, try to tell you, oh, you should go here. It'll help you out in your career. You'll do well. They'll tell you anything. They'll lie to you. I got lied to when I went to college. They're talking about, oh, all your credits are transferred. It'll be all good. You can get into the next art class. It'll be fine. When I got there, it was a bait and switch. So now I'm losing time. I'm losing money. So after a year of ODU, I left. I graduated from a community college, and I was told by several advisors that everything would transfer. It'd be no problem. You'd be in and out 2 more years. You'd be good. You got your bachelor's degree. It's fine. But when I got there, they're talking about, oh, well, these credits don't transfer. You got to take, you can't take any electives. It was so dumb. They said that my credits for my actual core classes would transfer as electives, and I had to retake my core classes over again. So I had to just spend more money, so I needed more time to be there. Another year. I'm like, you know what? I'm out. I'm totally out. And I couldn't get into my next art class because you had these 2 white liberal guys that did not like my art project that had toy guns in it. So the moral of the story is, go to where it's best suited for you. Don't just go to a place because the college says come out there, your professors say do it, and you feel like you want to have some kind of status symbol. Because they'll lie to you, they'll manipulate you, and they'll end up robbing you, bare face, no gun. Don't let it happen. But I digress. Thank y'all for being here yet again. I most certainly appreciate you guys. If you enjoy what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. And yes, I guess tonight is daylight saving time, so the clock goes ahead 1 hour. Whoever made that rule up needs to get waterboarded immediately, because I don't want to lose my hour. Straight up, I want my hour back. So I don't know where I go to. Look, rather than the STEMI, how about giving me my hour? I'll take the hour over the STEMI. I don't know about y'all. I'm just saying, I value that hour more than that STEMI. I'm not getting it anyway. And matter of fact, since I'm not getting a STEMI and I still got to pay taxes, give me my hour and I'll trade that for that. We call it even. All right. It wouldn't be no beef. All right. But what else we got going on here? It's a whole lot happening. But yeah, that college thing, oh, I could go on forever on that college thing. Don't get scammed. If you're out there, you're going to go to college, you're in college, don't get scammed, because if you're an adult, this is your life. This is your life. It's not about, you're not in high school no more. that the superiors don't control your life. You paying them your money, you can do what you want to do. If you got a college that's not doing right, you got a bad education, feel like you're getting scams and you're not progressing, you got the right to drop out, go somewhere else, do whatever you want to do as an adult. Period. All right? That's how it is. Do not let them tell you to do anything and you just do it. All right? But I'm getting triggers. I'm getting the flashback from my time where I got scammed and bamboozled. Okay, so what else we got going on? Did I cover everything? I covered the Biden speech. Oh, Stacey Dash. Now, Stacey Dash is an actress, most well known for her work in the movie called Clueless. And she's a black woman and came out as conservative, and she was on Fox News for about 2 years, right? So when she was over there, I was excited for her to be there. I liked the fact that she was there, but I felt like when I would see her on Fox, it wasn't really authentic. It wasn't really her. It didn't come across very well. Some people are not going to be good at being able to give quick sound bites and do that kind of commentary on Fox. Sometimes it's just not really, especially when that's not really your forte. She was not trained to do that. She came up as an actress, not a political commentator. So when she got to that world, it kind of felt inauthentic. And they fired her in 2016. I think she had been cussing on the air and stuff like that she shouldn't have been doing. I'm not sure she got fired because of the cussing or because she was not a very good contributor. Not an anchor, but a contributor. But anyway, she's a Trump supporter. I saw her speak at Black Leadership Summit 2018. I recorded it, matter of fact. You can find that video on this channel for 2018. I think it has the hashtag YBLS 2018. But I was right there in the audience and I recorded it. I loved it. It was a great speech. You had kids in the crowd that were kind of like crying and, little Indian tear forming. People were clapping and applauding. She did a very good job in 2018. I remember she got fired in 2016. She came out recently this year, 2021, and said that she apologizes for what she said when she was on Fox News and that she was an angry black woman and that she was cast at Fox to be the angry black woman. Now, maybe that was the case. But maybe she presented the angry black woman to them to try and get hired. Maybe she thought she had to be the angry black woman to get hired. But that's not true because you have Harris Faulkner, and she's the best anchor on the station beyond Tucker Carlson, in my humble opinion. She's great. And she does not present this angry black woman. She's just real, calm, cool, collected, delivers the news, we're professional. I don't see this angry black woman. People sometimes on the outside who are not really in the conservative world, not really in politics like that, they think that you got to be angry and scowling to be a conservative, especially when you're a conservative black person. But it's not like that. You can just be cool, just be yourself. If Stacey Dash was to go on Fox and just be herself, which is real nice and feminine and kind, but also some of that street New York edge, she'd be perfect. But I think she was approaching it like another role and an acting gig, which it was not, which is why it didn't go over very well. But she was apologizing, saying that she regrets what she did on Fox, that she's not that person. And I believe her. She does not come off as an angry person. Now, maybe she might have an angry streak in her personal life. I don't know. But from what I saw when she was speaking at the summit, she was smiling and nice, and she didn't do any smiling on Fox. It was just straightforward, mean. That's just not her. It's not her. Kelly McEnany can go on Fox and stuff like that and smile. If I was to go on there, I'd be the same way I am right now. But she just didn't do that. And people misinterpreted it, saying that she did not support Trump anymore. She didn't say that. The media said that. She said that she was through with politics, not necessarily Trump. She didn't say anything about Trump from what I heard. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But she was saying that the Capitol riot pretty much did it for her as far as politics, but not Trump. So it's just weird. I think that she just realizes that she kind of got in over her head with the politics and she wasn't really being authentic. So she wants to just back away from the whole thing. And that's fine. But if she wants to come back, what she can't do is be fake. She can't try to be an actress because her acting skills do not translate into this whole Fox News conservative pundit world. She thinks she knows, or she thought she knew what being a conservative pundit was from the outside looking in, but she did not know, which is why it did not go very well. When she was on Fox, it was inauthentic. I didn't believe it. But when I saw her in person speak, it was a perfect speech. She was speaking about her son, because she almost had an abortion. Her son was like 25 or something like that. He's a full grown man. But she was on the table and she almost had an abortion. So she heard her voice in her head that says, don't abort that, save the baby. Like she was on the table, get ready to have it in Planned Parenthood, almost did it, but got saved. Now she got a whole 25-year-old. So, I mean, stories like that should be her focus. And I think it will be. But we'll see what happens pretty soon. But you know, Black Twitter, they want to just attack her and say you can't come back to the cookout. Some people said that, you know, she's trying to come back to Black Hollywood. Let me tell you something about Black Hollywood, though. There isn't pot of gold at the end of, there's no pot of gold waiting for her regardless of what. It's a lot of Black celebrities that did not go and become conservative that are on the streets banging needles in Skid Row right now. Okay, there was a situation with Flex Alexander, and I think his wife, I think he's married to Shanice or somebody. Well, whoever his wife is, they were living in the telly in a hotel, just trying not to be homeless. And this guy, he was on sitcoms and movies and everything, homeless. The entertainment world is dog eat dog. It's really crazy. It's hectic. So you can't just say, oh, she's trying to come back to Black Hollywood. It might not be a pot of gold, therefore, regardless of what. She could have just been a liberal the whole time and not say the word about politics and be in the same situation. If it's about money, if she's broke, which I don't know if she is or not, but if she's broke, it wouldn't make a difference. You know, it's not even how it is. And really right now, when you're talking about Hollywood, I mean, look at what's happening with the entertainment industry. People are not going to the movies. They're suffering real bad. They're down extremely bad. So there's less opportunities to be able to get money in Los Angeles and Hollywood in general. But I'll leave that right there. But to Shanice, thank you, Ty. Yeah, they were out there homeless. And he was never conservative or nothing like that. But LA is dog eat dog. One day you could be the man. You could be riding around in Rolls Royces and Cadillac cars. You got all kind of jewelry on your wrist and your neck. And the next day you be out on the street begging for change. That's kind of how it is. So I don't want anybody to try to say that she was trying to come back to try and get some money. What money? Ain't no money in Black Hollywood, no way. Unless you want to be in a Tyler Perry movie, but that's a different story. All right. But thank y'all again for being here. Yeah, full of potholes with homeless. I was shocked when I saw Los Angeles and San Francisco, Oakland. I was shocked. Totally shocked. Now, when I went to LA, I did not go to the sketchy part. Well, I was in kind of a sketchy part, but I was like in Inglewood, so I wasn't really like in the belly of it. I wasn't downtown. So downtown, I saw pictures and video of it. Good night. I'm talking about disgusting, miserable rat. They got New York rats just hanging out with the homeless, and they tents like they pets. It was crazy. All kind of disease down there, everything else going on. It's a whole big mess. So Oakland the same way, like a third world country. And then they want to have the higher minimum wage. How is that going to be possible? How are you going to have a higher minimum wage in an area with such rampant drug abuse, poverty, homelessness? How is that going to happen? What does it make any... Matter of fact, they closed some Kroger stores. I think it might have been in L.A. Matter of fact, here it is. Here's the tweet. So breaking 911 or 9-1-1. You already know what time it is. I don't want to just trigger nobody's system. But this account says, let me put it on the screen so you guys can see it. All right. Kroger to close 3 Los Angeles stores after city officials mandated a $5 pay increase for grocery workers and pharmacy workers, CBSLA. All right. And then here's the next thing. These 3 stores currently pay employees an average of $18 an hour, $24 when considering benefits. So it's like, how much more do you want? What more do you want? I saw something today where it might have been Ari from Fox, ARI from Fox, going around asking people, hey, what's the appropriate minimum wage? Is it $25, $50, $75? And they're like, yeah, that sounds about right to me. Cost of living, yeah, $25. It's like you have no idea about how wages work and about how money works at all. $25 an hour, you would have no jobs at that high minimum wage. Okay, just start begging for change or getting how you live, pretty much. Now, Now they're saying one guy said, "Oh, they're greedy SOBs because they see their total assets and then their equity." But that's not anything to do with the individual stores, how much each individual store makes in the profit margin and stuff like that. And my response was, hey, you could do all the name calling all you want to, but it won't bring the jobs back. The jobs are gone. 3 stores. So they're going to close the store totally, not just, downgrade the staff, but just totally close the stores. And if you have a Kroger in a so-called food desert, well, congratulations, you created the food desert. So don't act surprised when you have no grocery store in a quote-unquote low-income environment. You killed the store yourself. They opened the store, but you closed it because of your very high wage demands. It's just too much. Entirely too much. But that's what happens when you have a very high minimum wage like that. People don't understand. They don't get it. They do not get it. You're going to have, with higher minimum wage, you're going to have higher prices for everything. You're going to have less jobs. It's going to accelerate automation. It's just going to be a mess. You really just don't want that at all. You don't want it. Or if you do want it, don't be surprised when you have all these store closures that happen all around you. That's what that is. And my question would be, where are these numbers coming from? Where do people get 15 or 25? Or it's like a random number. You can't just make a random number up. That's not how it goes. These payroll expenses are not random numbers. You got a really calculated thing. Like it's calculated down to the fraction of a penny. So when you just want to randomly increase it double, it defies the logic of how wages are tabulated and paid out. So it's like, what are we even doing? This is not logical how we're trying to raise these wages up. There should be a 0 minimum wage, and whatever you can get from your employer should be whatever you get paid. That's how it should be. And the way it is in America, at least, there are so many companies out there, companies compete on the wages, right? This is why Target, Walmart, Amazon, etc., that's why they want to advocate for a federally regulated minimum wage, because when that goes up on a federal level, they know it's going to kill the small little business. And when their business dries up, it goes away, they'll be the ones that take over what the business that was killed had before. So if you got a hardware store, a roses store, a little grocery store, and they all get killed by a high federal wage, here comes the Titan, Walmart, to swoop in and take all their traffic and bring them into their business. That's how it works. But when it gets to be too high, they can't do it, and everybody loses. Not only the small shops, they're going to get killed first, but also the big shops. So where are you going to go? What are you going to do? Food line, bread line, how about that? Brought to you by the federal government, government cheese, all that good. Take that and live on that. See how that works. But I digress. Yeah, leave it to the states. And you know what? If you got a really high wage in California and Arizona, Nevada, Utah, etc., have low wages, or, it's not as high as what California has, we're talking about the minimum, jobs are going to move to the neighboring states. Simple. A lot of border towns are going to be jumping. That's how it is. Why would I put my business in California where I got to pay $1 trillion an hour for my minimum wage, where I can go to Nevada, I can go to Vegas or something like that, and have my business there for a fraction of the cost with the same kind of traffic, depending upon where I am? It just, the sense just, it's not really there. Hey, I'm with you, Angela. 0, yes. 0 minimum wage. Because it's all about, what's stopping somebody from paying whatever they want to pay? There's a maximum wage. You can pay whatever you want to pay somebody as a maximum. So why is it a minimum? And if I don't want to work for that amount of money, I won't do it. That's all that there is to it. And the funny part is that a lot of these jobs that should, quote unquote, I'll back up. A lot of these jobs that may be paying the high wage aren't. They're going under the table and hiring them illegal aliens, because you can pay them whatever you want to pay them. Or they do 1099, so you won't have any benefits. They'll get around it some kind of way, or they won't be there at all. So rather than having a job at 10 an hour, you have no job at all. Or that job will go to somebody else who's getting paid $5 an hour. And how are you going to compete with that? You can't. And the automation is crazy. All right. I got super chats on deck. I'm going to read those right quick, and then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Give me a few minutes, and I'm going to get to the calls. So y'all just hang tight. Shout out to Apu for the super chats. Apu says, ABL awesome live stream Wednesday, March 10th. His fraudulency, President Biden calls in, and a Texas teacher lady mixing ABL Mr. Potato Head. Thank you to Apu, who also says, Breonna Taylor's family gets $12 million. George Floyd's gets $27 million. Tony Timber's family gets zero. Racism in America priceless. You know, the reason why Breonna Taylor's family got paid and also George Floyd is because they're trying to prevent riots, in my opinion. Like, Derek Chauvin is going to beat that case. He's going to beat that case in George Floyd situation because the medical report says that the knee did not cause a death. Now, he might go to jail for something else, the tax evasion, whatever they want to get him on. He might go to jail on that. But as far as the George Floyd situation, the knee did not cause a death. So he's going to beat that case. So to prevent the riots, to mitigate damage, they say, okay, we gave $27 million. So please don't riot and loot and burn the city up again. That's what that is. That's kind of like hush money. It might work, it might not work. We'll see. Apu also says, how much reparations is BLM going to pay the families of David Dorn, Horace Lorenzo Jr., Sequoia Turner, Italia Marie Kelly, Burnell Chamel? $0. They didn't give any. BLM did not give any money to Mike Brown's family. So why would they give any to those that are killed by them? If they didn't get any money to the families of those that they're fighting for, allegedly, why would they give anything to those that were killed by them, by their actions, by their hands? Shout out to Disca Bears for your donation. I appreciate you. Shout out to One God and One System of Faith for your donation. Thank you to Alisa Raya for the Superman emoji donation. Thank you to Michael Akov, who says, ABL, what do you think about censorship of the Trump speech at CPAC? People are getting taken down for posting it. Thank you for what you do. Yeah, it's crazy. It's totally crazy, but I can't say I'm surprised. YouTube and these mainstream media giants want to censor whatever Trump says because it can be powerful and it can move people to think for themselves, and you can't have that. Sorelio says, Anthony, can you react to Animal Call drops a beat? I have no idea what that is. I'm going to check it out. Shout out to Pam Ronning for the laughing emoji. Apple says, great vid, Sarah Silverman opinion on Bill Maher. Bill Maher, I'm not a fan of, really. I'll leave it there. I don't know what he's been saying recently, but I'm not a fan of Bill Maher's. Laura Reed says the lefties are starting to attack themselves because they cannot blame Trump for everything anymore. Exactly. It's like, who are you going to attack now? You're going to attack regular normies, or you're going to attack big name figures on your side? Apple also says opinion on the woke military versus Tucker Carlson. Yeah, I saw that. So Tucker Carlson said something about how women now have maternity flight suits. It was crazy. Like, you're going to be in a fighter plane pregnant? Makes no sense to me. And they got suits that are designed for pregnant women. It's like, look, if you're pregnant with a whole baby, maybe you shouldn't be in the fighter plane trying to fight somebody's war. All right? Maybe that shouldn't be where you at. Be behind a desk somewhere chilling. All right? I mean, that should be a health risk right there, but that's a different story. So he said something about that, and there was some more stuff to it. I don't know the full story. But then the military, one of the Space Force commanders came out and said something to him on Twitter about it. Had a whole little video. And then somebody called the guy fat. And then this dude, using his military account, posted gym pictures with his shirt off. And I was like, sir, you need to put your camo back on, put your uniform back on. Anybody trying to see you in the gym. This is a military account with a blue check on it. You're doing way too much. So stop. It was crazy. And then there was like this a statement released by the military, by the Pentagon, talking about Tucker Carlson gets smited. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull it up. I gotta pull it up because this was crazy. I'll make sure I get it right. Okay, so here it is. Now, I'm not making this up. This is on defense.gov. Hold on. Defense.gov, and you see it right here on the screen. This is the DOD now. Here's the headline. Press Secretary smites Fox host that dissed diversity in U.S. military. The DOD put this out. What are we doing here? I know if you're in the military right now, you're probably hot about this because it's like, okay, what are we men or mice? Like we are trained, we're professional, we're serious. What is this? Is this like YouTube, like a YouTube title? I mean, I wouldn't even say smites. I would say destroys or wrecks. I wouldn't even say smites. The DOD though, I mean, come on, be more serious. That was crazy, completely crazy. Meanwhile, China's over there doing all kind of war games. They're taking over the South China Sea. They're not concerned with this at all. Matter of fact, I saw something from China that it kind of just underlines the whole point. Now, I don't know who this is, who the guy is that said this, but I'm going to put it back up here. Hold on. So AOC said something, and let me read the caption here. New York 14 is home to a vibrant community of Tibetans. On Tibetan Uprising Day, we renew our commitment to fight for their freedom. Tibetans simply seek the freedom to speak their language, practice their religion, sustain their culture, and to live freely in their own country. Okay, so Tibet is obviously part of China now. It's not a sovereign country. And this guy, Chen Wei-ha, he says, why Americans keep electing such ignorant joke to Congress? AOC talks like absurd, ominous clown. So, I mean, China, they're talking like this. And it's like, what you going to do about it? You going to censor me? We got our own social media over here. What you going to do? And we censor that. We put whatever we put whatever we want to put on our social media. We don't have TikTok. We got Douyin, which is the same thing, but we don't have your American garbage on it. We got the Chinese censored stuff on there. We control our people. We do whatever we want. I'm not saying it's a good thing. Obviously, China is a bad place. We're talking about the government. But if they're doing this, why are we over here talking about Secretary Smites Tucker Carlson? Is that what we're going to be dealing with for real with the military? When China is doing whatever they want all over the whole world, it's just kind of dumb to me, but whatever. Somebody said AOC always on crack. Hilarious. They're not wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong about AOC. Don't get that. They're definitely not wrong. But it's like, what are we going to do when they're doing stuff like that? And we're over here talking about Defense Secretary Smite Tucker Carlson. It's like, come on. All right, back to the super chats right quick. Shout out to Daniel Orr for being the ABL supporter. I appreciate you, boss. Apple also says Minnesota now has its autonomous zone. Job out of last night. And how long before President Kamala Harris? Matter of time. Just a matter of time. Also, ABL, when do you travel? You recognized by in airports? Yeah. Every now and again, when I'm in the airport, I get recognized by people. TSA, people recognize me at TSA, on the plane, just randomly. Flight attendants. You never know who's watching. You never know. You know, a lot of people watch this channel. People you would never think watch this channel. All right. So, yeah, a lot of people recognize who I am. And it always feels good to know that, you know, I'm able to get out there and deliver a message that really sticks. Shout out to Gypsy Queen who says, hey, ABL, for some reason, after 2 donations, they stopped collecting my donations. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. That's kind of weird. Apu says, Nevada high school senior, a young man, got a failing grade and won't graduate because he did not denounce his white privilege, except he is mixed and lives with his black mom. Wow. So really, he probably identifies as being black. So how are you going to force a guy that identifies as black with a black mom? How are you going to make him denounce his white privilege? It doesn't even make sense. It's absurd to ask anyone to do it, regardless of what their color is, but you're not even white. So where are we talking? So, I mean, is it going to be me next? Like, okay, I'm going to school, right? I'm obviously black. And they say, hey, ABL, you got to denounce your white privilege or else you're going to not graduate. I'm like, what? I'm not white, though. It doesn't matter. Denounce it. It's stupid. And like I said, even if you were white or whatever color you are, it's dumb. But it's dumber to ask a person that's not even white to do it. But I digress. John Medeski says, agree with your video on Biden's speech. It was depressing. Death, virus, vaccine, lockdowns. Trump trolled but kept things positive. Exactly. Shout out to Travis for becoming an ABL supporter. I appreciate you, boss. Thank you to Hudson Jackson II, who says, let me go back. When Anita Sarkeesian said everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is homophobic, and you have to point it all out, she summed up what CRT is about and made everything not racist. There you go. Love Lives Here. Love Lives Serve, pardon me, says, ABL, you realize that law school is a doctoral program. We need to get an undergrad degree before law school. Issue is even after college, many blacks never learn how to learn poor study skills. Exactly. Yeah, it goes K through 12, all throughout college, the whole situation. I did not know it was a doctoral program. That's even worse because you went through your whole college years not performing very well. And then you want to go, and really, if you go through your whole 4 years of college or 5 or however long it is, and you didn't do well, like, how did that not get found out? Did you go to HBCU? I said it. Did you go to the community? Like, where did you go before you went to Georgetown Law? What, Phoenix Online? No shade, as the cool kids say. I'm just saying, how do you not know where you stand academically in a college environment as a full-grown adult going into a doctoral program? It reminds me of your man Ralph Northam with a blackface picture when he was going to EVMS, the medical school. Like, you're 25 years old, sir. You know what you're doing, if it's right or wrong, but I digress. Scott says, ending daylight savings time nationwide was something I wish Trump had as a goal. Hey, high five, man. Virtual high five right to you, sir. Thank you for that. Shout out to Laura, who says, everything the government touches, it destroys. Correct. Who said this? Was it Milton Friedman or somebody said that if the government were to be responsible for sand, there'd be no more sand tomorrow, something like that. You guys know what I'm talking about. I forget how it was exactly worded. Monroe says, finally moving out of California next month. Hey, congratulations for leaving California. Hopefully you go to a nice, good state and everything's all good. Whatever and everything says, hey, ABO, I love your show. I have a track I made on my channel called 2 + 5 = 5. Take a listen. 2 + 2 = 5. Take a listen. Tom McDonald is okay, just not my style. Santo Bartez says, already hearing about the White House staff is fighting over how to frame the non-response to the border crisis. How long do you think they can contain the infighting and eventual resignations? That's a very good question, because at a certain point, if people are resigning and it happens in mass, how are you going to cover that up? You can cover things up just as far as the so-called crisis because the media is not going to cover it. But when you have resignations, you got to cover that. I mean, because if you on LinkedIn, you change your status, that's public. We could see that. If you're not there anymore and the press gaggles, we could see that. So what's going on? Very good question. I think that's going to start to come out soon here. And I think the media will try to figure out a way to cover that up, but they're going to have a very hard time being able to do it. Let me see. Love Live Sir says, there's a difference between, no difference in rigor between the top state university and Ivy League university. Difference is that Ivy League has a monopoly on corporate job recruiting. Wow, that's deep. Johnny Future says, fighter jet with baby on board sticker. Hilarious. That is hilarious. Wow. Laura Reeves says, the military is not the place for woke social experimentation. Our military's purpose is to defend our country and our citizens. Period. End of story. I agree with you 1,000%. Couldn't say it no better myself. Monroe Doctrine says, I'm USAF. Pregnant woman, work, 911, dispatch, and office jobs. These uniforms were needed, but shouldn't be headline and made into a political stunt. Yeah, that's really what it should be. That makes sense. Shout out to, I cannot pronounce your name, Ma Pojur, for your donation. I appreciate you. Shout out to Jeff, who says, doesn't BLM owe their donations a breakdown of where their donations go? Why doesn't BLM pay reparations? They got over $10 billion. Awesome show, bro. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, they should break down where the money is going, but they're not going to do that because there's never anybody that puts their feet to the fire. People that donate don't really care. Microsoft, they don't really care. All they care about is the optics of them giving to some quote-unquote black positive organization. They can go buy all the weed in Mexico with that money. It don't matter because they feel good about doing it. It makes them look good. It's a women's situation. Shout out to Farron Xbox, who says, you have a white sounding name to trick Joe Biden utilizing the white privilege your name affords you. Enjoy your intelligence. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. All right. Time for the calls. You guys know what time it is. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. Let's go ahead and get Skype rocking and roll. If it wants to act right, that'd be great. All right. Let's see if this wants to work. Let me get my settings open and do all that good stuff and get it rocking. Let's go to sound right quick. And we should be straight. Give me 1 second here and we'll be good to go. All right, everything's good. All right, Victor, what's going on?
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
So, last night I went to Home Depot to return something, and this black woman said, "Oh, you got some waves. You make it look easy." I told her that, "Hey, this is holy water, because black men don't cheat." So, anyways, I took a huge red pill. As I told you before, I voted for Joe Biden, and he came through by ending the pipeline. But now I see the gas prices going up, and I regret my vote.
Well, hey, I mean, that's what happens, right? I mean, you got buyer's remorse to get them gases. It's going up and up and up. It's going to go through the roof. So I can't blame you at all. Yeah.
Yeah, so, anyways, you mentioned, I'm getting feedback. Hello?
Okay, you good.
Okay. You mentioned before you took my call the reparations. Why can't Black Lives Matter pay for reparations? Well, there is a town that will be paying reparations to black people. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about that.
Yes, it's a town in Illinois. It's one of the suburbs of Chicago. I mean, go figure. It's a progressive area, so not a surprise. The crazy thing is that some of the people are still not happy about that.
I mean, it's never going to be enough. People keep saying, reparations, we got our reparations, and I always ask, okay, how much is it going to be? What's the actual cost? And they can never give me an answer. But then when there's a number thrown out there, a big number, they were like 25,000 for reparations, a check of 25,000. Yeah. Oh, it ain't enough. So I was like, okay, what is going to be enough then?
Yeah, man. Yeah. And I have a reason why, but before I explain my reason, I want to say this because it will connect to my reason. You remember when you mentioned about the black woman playing the Queen of England, right?
Yeah.
Well, you remember Zoe Saldana? I think that's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah. You remember when she played the movie Nina?
I never seen. For Nina Simone, right?
Yeah. Do you remember the backlash she got?
Yeah, because she wasn't dark enough.
No. Yeah, she was blackface.
Yes.
She was blackface, and black women were pissed about that. Personally, I understand why, because I felt like, well, you have Jennifer Hudson that could play Nina Simone. I disagree with Zoe Saldana, and they got mad. But yet, though, where's the outrage when you have a black woman playing the Queen of England, but not a African queen?
Right, exactly. I mean, it's selective outrage. You get mad at certain things and not mad at others, and then it's not racism when you're mad at Zoe Saldana for not being black enough. That's not racism at all. But when you say, okay, let's get a whole black person to play an obviously white person, and people say we don't want that, then they're racist. But you're not racist for. I mean, like Zoe Saldana, I guess she identifies as black or whatever, but that's not. It's weird how they go.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, from how you don't see the outrage with the black woman playing the Queen of England, and you see the people who are still upset and still think that the reparations is not enough. I think what it is that people want to try to correct the past, but they need to realize the past in the past. You can't correct the past. What you need to do is just move forward and see what you can do so you can make the future better.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Great call from my man, Victor. And shout out to everybody calling. Nippin, what's going on? That's right.
Not bad. How are you?
Everything's all right, man. Can't complain.
Didn't know I'd get on this soon. I thought I'd have to wait till the end or even until next week.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, one of our royalty, well, former royalty, decided that she'd do a public stunt on Oprah Winfrey's villa.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I mean,
you're trying to tell me that you're quote unquote oppressed when the royal family's worth, well, I don't know how much their personal worth is, but basically worth both your wealth and my wealth combined, and Oprah Winfrey's like a billionaire, and you're telling me that you're oppressed. Get out of here. Get in the bin.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, and I honestly think that the story that the person who asked, the royal family is not racist. If they were racist, they wouldn't have taken in Meghan in the first place.
Right, exactly. That would have been stopped immediately. It wouldn't have even gotten that far.
Exactly. And Joe Biden does it again. He's done it again.
What did he do as far as that sad speech?
Yep, the sad speech. And he decides that he would put troops back into Syria. Basically undoing all the peace efforts Donald Trump put into place.
Oh, of course. Of course. That's pretty much what I expected. And it's funny to see people, they say, okay, Trump is a bad guy. He's all these evil things. But yet the guy that they like, Joe Biden, is the one that's going right back to the Middle East and trying to start some wars back up. So who's the bad guy? Who's not?
Obviously, Joe Biden is. He's bringing back everything George W. Bush put in place.
That's right.
And cartoons have been cancelled. Dr. Seuss, Mr. Potato Head. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is beyond a joke.
Yeah, it's so silly because they're trying to cancel those cartoons, but they want to have these really woke cartoons with little kids that's transgender and everything else. So it's like you're selective. Some of these real wholesome, nice cartoons are just way too much for kids, but we can have people that are transgender in front of little kids, and that's totally fine. It's weird.
I just don't get it these days. When it comes to the royal family, I honestly think that person, when Meghan said, it was Harry. I honestly think that was made up when Harry said one of the royal family members asked what color the baby's going to be.
Probably so, but even if...
I think he made that up. I think he completely made that question up.
It could have happened, but it wouldn't have been that serious. It's just like, okay, if a baby's coming, right, and you got two parents, they're going to want to know how the baby's going to look, even if they're too white or black or whatever. It doesn't matter. They want to know how the baby looks. So it's not a matter of race thing. It's just a matter of, curiosity about the baby that's coming.
But we live in a world where they make everything about race. I don't think it had anything to do with race at all. I honestly think they would have asked if he had married a white person instead of Meghan.
Right.
I think they would have still asked.
Exactly.
And apparently, it works one way for them. But what's that word what's that term you say? Do as I say, but never as I do. That's basically what the left is doing.
Right. Exactly.
Like when a black person says something racist, oh, it's just that they have every right to express their opinion. But when a white person says something that is racist, they say, oh, it's racist.
Yeah, it's the worst thing in the world. But if it's racist, it's always racist. It can't just be racist sometimes. Either it is racist or it's not racist.
Yeah, you're either being racist or you're not. You can't just pick and choose who's racist and who isn't.
Correct.
Yeah, so we have a roadmap now in the UK to come out of lockdown. A lockdown I don't think we should have been in the first place. I mean, this COVID thing has a 99% survival rate.
It does.
Only people who are above the age of 70 have a realistic chance of actually dying from it.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. The virus is definitely there. But your chances of dying from the virus is next to none. You're more likely to die in a car accident. You're more likely to die of cancer than you are of COVID.
Right.
So yeah, Stacy Dash has apologized. Oh God, Siri's telling me what to do again.
Well, we got like limited time, so I gotta get to some more.
Stacy Dash apologizes for being an angry black woman on what? What even is this?
It's kind of a long one, but I gotta get to some more here, Nippin. So I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
It was nice catching up with you, ABL.
Oh, definitely, man.
So yeah, I shall see you on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday your time, Saturday my time. I got you, boss.
I'll speak to you then.
All right, man. Thank you for the call. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. I'm sorry for the loud noise. It blew my ears out too. It's not my fault. You gotta blame the white man. Let me try to fix that. Skype, it's a gift and a curse, I tell you. Okay, let's try to fix this now without having my other sound get really weird and squirrely. All right. I got to you on that. Thank you. Place right there. There we go. Appreciate it. All righty, Matt. What's going on?
ABL, man. How you doing?
Everything's all right, man. Can't complain about yourself.
Yeah, not too bad. I don't know what you all are complaining about, though, with reparations and stuff. I decided to be black again, and I'm going to get some reparations.
You know what? What's funny about that is, I'm not sure if you saw, they have this $5 billion for black farmers that came out with the virus bill.
What are they growing?
I mean, it's black farmers, but the thing is, Lindsey Graham said it's reparations for those black farmers. I'm like, okay, what's going to happen is you're going to have Sean King become a farmer and get some of that money. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, what's he going to grow? Marijuana or something?
He's going to grow victimhood cards. That's what he's going to grow.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a lot of bread for farmers and stuff too. But you know, that Merkel baby is white as all get up, man.
Yeah, the baby's white, but see.
Oh yeah.
With any baby, I mean, it's a thing. It's like, okay, you got a baby coming. All right, is it going to have my face? Is it going to have your nose, your eyes? I mean, I always would hear that among my family members, and everybody's black. So I don't understand how that's all of a sudden racist to ask that of another baby coming, just because there's like a little bit of black there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I actually had this dilemma. My father-in-law is kind of stoic and stuff like that, and my wife is black, and we were getting ready to have a baby, and I had done the math that my kids were 5/8 white because her dad is half black, his mom is black, and it's the first time I really heard him really speak up and care about math in a way that was just like, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. How black, how white is he? But I mean, it's a question that everybody mixed asks.
Yeah.
And then you got the whole dilemma of whether or not you can pass as a person of color, because, you know, my youngest might be able to, but my oldest can't.
Right.
I don't think. You're delaying, you're cutting out a little bit.
Okay. All
Hey,
right.
I don't know. Here's a question. How black do you have to be to say the N-word?
You know what? The funny part is, all you got to do is identify as black and be convincing in your identification. That's all. Like,
Do you ever get called to the carpet? I mean, could Sean King say it technically?
yes, he could.
So Sean King can say it.
I mean, he has the ability to pass as black. I mean, I never thought he was black my whole life. I would see him, I'm like, okay, it's just a white guy, a so-called ally. That's what I thought he was. But he's actually passing as black, so he could say it because people think that he is black. So if you're able to identify as black and be convincing, then go for it. It's just like if you can pass as being transgender, you might be able to, you know, get into a few secret areas you're not supposed to really be into if you're not actually a woman.
Oh, it's like a bathroom thing. Like,
There you
are
go.
you going to get in trouble or not in trouble?
Exactly.
I'm like that with masks when I try to go into a coffee shop. But the no, I don't think Sean King can say it. I think you get in trouble for doing that.
You know what? He went to HBCU, and his classmates thought he was black.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man, it's a pretty wide pass then, I guess, because
Yeah.
like he doesn't look like that. I got called the N-word once by a girl that cut me off in traffic, and it kind of felt endearing. You know, I didn't feel repressed at all or anything. But yeah, man, I appreciate you, and I'm all for reparations. I think is just as long as I think the rule is that I bet $1,000 will do it. You're talking about 14,000 or whatever, but I think $1,000. If you just said, "Hey, everybody, here's $1,000 right now, but you got to shut up. You can't bring up all this racism stuff anymore, and take it or leave it," I bet people would take it if there was like a referendum or something to be had.
Hey, we have a case study in Evanston, Illinois, Chicago suburb. They're giving black residents 24,000, and they're saying that's not enough.
Well, you gotta get them to sign on the line to say
24,000,
you take it, and you gotta shut up. Racism's over.
It was not. I'm telling you, it's not going. If they're saying 24,000 ain't enough, they're
I bet
not.
$1,000 will do it.
I guarantee
I
you
bet
it won't.
more than 50% of people of some ethnicity would sign and just say, "Okay, $1,000. All right."
I mean,
we're
hey, you know what? If you want to do that experiment and we just see how it works, I'll take a bet on that. I'll bet you that $1,000 that they're going to give. Matter of fact, if I get it, I'll bet you my reparations money that people are not going to be satisfied with it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the way to do it would be to give out the check, and then on the back where you sign it, it says, I agree to never say the racist word again or anything.
And people will sign that and not even pay no mind. They won't even care. That's not even. I'm telling you. I guarantee you. I'll put money on the line right now. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, they will. You think there'll be some principled holdouts so that'll be like, no, if I sign this, then I can't claim.
They'll sign it and still complain.
Yeah, be a fun experiment to try.
Yes,
but hey man, take it easy, and you know, poor Prince Harry, man. You know what I mean? I don't know who I feel worse for, but take it easy.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right, shout out to Matt. Yeah, if it's a check that comes out, it's never going to be enough, ever, because once you give an inch, they'll take a mile. That's how it goes. It's always going to be the next thing. That's just what it is. All right, the phone lines are jumping. Let me get to the next one. All right, Tariq, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man? I was just gonna make it quick, man. Stacey Dash, man, I don't believe anything she's saying. I think what's happening with Stacey Dash is that, because she supported Trump and the conservatives, of course, liberal Hollywood is not going to give her any more working opportunities to work. So, like a coward, instead of like building her own business, instead of establishing herself while she was rooting for Trump, now she wants to act like she made a big mistake and and groveling and it's interesting, these conservatives look so weak when they come back to liberals because it's like they got to get on their knees and apologize and beg for forgiveness. And I see a lot of black liberals calling her a coon, and at this point I don't really care because it's like you're a coward. It's like what Omarosa did, when the heat gets too hot. Now I hate Trump. Now he's a racist. Hey, and did you know there's a video with an N-word? He says N-word. I mean, just lying. Just lying. But liberals accepted Omarosa's back as far as she's been appearing on MSNBC as this Trump hater. But yeah, man, these people, when they have these revelations on about them, they're just trying to be accepted, man. That's not a fighter. And I'm like, man, get y'all weak self out. And I just hope they just disappear from the map. It's the same thing for Sarah Silverman. She ain't no independent. She is not no independent. It's frustrating when you listen to her. She's just probably mad, and you called it out great on your video. She's just mad because the Democrats aren't as far left as she wants them to be. She ain't no in the middle, no independent. Every 4 years, that woman is going to vote for a Democrat. Like, I can't stand when people say I'm an independent, and then you look at their voting record. It's Democrat. Everything that comes out of their mouth is Democrat, liberal talking points. So I just hope conservatives don't like buy this nonsense that Sarah Silverman is reaching over the aisle. She can see both sides. She ain't doing none of that. And it's and it's another woman too, which I'm upset with. What is her name? Was it Sharon Osbourne who helped defend Piers Morgan, right? You remember that?
What about Sharon Osbourne?
Well, she defended Piers Morgan as far as his free
Oh,
speech.
yeah.
And I guess the black woman, I forget her name, started crying. And
She started
we live in
crying?
a stupid, huh?
She started crying?
Yeah. And we live in a stupid, politically correct society. So whenever a black woman cries, and you got some white woman talking logic, it's violence, it's racist. Because our people are so weak. Like the white man or the white woman could say anything and bring us down to tears, and something must be done. So she apologizes for defending Piers Morgan. And my thing is like this, man. If you don't have the balls to stand up for yourself, shut up. Like stop trying to talk tough. Like that just angers me. Like people talk all this toughness, and then once the liberals take that belt out, now they want to apologize. It just makes us all look bad. And what that does is that emboldens their bullying behavior. This is why they hate Trump, because Trump ain't apologizing. They want Trump to apologize. They can whip him, which will weaken Trump's movement. Just think about it, bro. Bernie Sanders' movement is dead. Like, you can see a lot of his supporters angry at him because Bernie Sanders is not a fighter. He is weak and he's a coward. It's just funny how these silly progressives was pushing for this coward who doesn't even fight back when he's cheated in the election twice. And then he just grovels on Biden's feet. And he's supposed to be some champion of revolution. Man, get out of here, man. Like, I have no sympathy for liberals who are just mad at what Biden is doing, because my thing is like this. You talk about how you were disappointed that there wasn't no $15 minimum wage and no $2,000 stimulus check, but I bet the next 4 years the media is going to whip you in back to shape, and you are going to vote Democrat. You know what I'm saying? And I always say the same thing to Charlemagne the God. He puts himself out as this independent, free-thinking black man who votes for a policy. But I listened to what that clown said as the reason why he's voted Democrat. He just said, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she's a black woman. You see, that's a stupid reason to vote for somebody, because you're not voting on policy. You are voting on skin color, but you're acting like you're just this independent broadcaster who asks independent questions. These people are all clowns, bro. Naomi Wolf, same story, getting mad at the Democrats, but then she was hyper mad at Trump, and just now she has like independent. These people are all clowns, and I thank you for calling them out, because I don't want people to follow these clowns. They're just here to put us back to sleep and act fake woke, and that's all I got to say, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate it. Wow, great call from Tariq. I can't say it no better myself. Excellent call, fantastic. And here's what he was talking about as far as Sharon Osbourne. So he's talking about Cheryl Underwood. Cheryl Underwood is the co-host that wound up crying, like literally tears. Matter of fact, here's an article. Okay, so if I can put it on the screen, it may or may not go. Let's see. So you can't really see it, but it says CBS launches review after Sharon Osbourne clashes with co-host over Piers Morgan. It's like, really? Is it that deep? Like, what's really going on? Hold on, let me see if I can just move it. Okay, let's get that out the way. So yeah, that's what's happening right here. It's like, come on. Like, I know it's not really that deep. And there's a video right here.
I really would like to know, because I've been knowing you for years since I've been here, and I've never seen anything come out of you other than if I don't.
You know what? I kind of want to get to the tears, so I'll kind of skip ahead a little bit. I want to see, you know what I mean, her face get a little bit.
Well, I tell you,
what?
We'll be right back.
What?
We have more topics, so don't.
Hold on, they're fighting.
I ain't racist. What's it got to do with me? I'm okay. How can I be racist about anybody? How can I be racist about?
You know, this is what happens when the woke sword swings in the wrong direction. You used to having the woke sword swing in the opposing direction to smite, as the U.S. military, the DOD said, against Tucker Carlson. You used to having the sword swing in the other direction to smite your enemy, but now you're being hit with it and you're just getting torn to pieces. I ain't racist. I can't tell, according to what Cheryl Underwood said. What are you going to do now? That's your sword that you forged. What you going to do to defend yourself against it?
Anybody or anything in my life. How can I?
Well, I tell you,
what?
We'll be right back.
What?
We have more topics, so don't go away.
And I think we should stop this.
Oh, cussing and everything.
I will ask you again, Cheryl.
Yes.
I've been asking you during the break.
Right.
I'm asking you again. And don't try and cry, because if anyone should be crying, it should be me. This is the situation.
Yes.
You tell me where you have heard him say, educate me, tell me when you have heard him say racist things.
Wow, wait a minute. Okay, I just want to pause it right quick so I don't get no strike, but I kind of want to see this a little bit.
Educate me. Tell me.
It is not the exact words of racism. It's the implication and the reaction to it. To not want to address that because she is a black woman and to try to dismiss it or to make it seem less than what it is. That's what makes it racist.
What?
But right
How you got a whole dog on set, though, like in a dog bed? Like, what's going on with that? But I digress.
now, I'm talking to a woman who I believe is my friend, and I don't want anybody here to
Okay, did she cry or what? Like, that's what I want to get to. She must have cried during the break.
Everybody who is of.
I mean, it's crazy, but hey, like I say, this is the woke sword hitting you. But that was funny. Don't try to cry. That was hilarious. So now she might mess around and get fired for that. But hey, I can't really say I'm torn up over it. It is what it is. Let's get to the next call. 289, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Gonzalo Ureta, calling from Canada.
All righty, what's going on?
Good, good. Long-time subscriber and listener, first-time caller. Just a pleasure to be on the show.
Well, thank you for calling. Appreciate it. What's happening?
No. Just making an observation here that I watch your videos about wokeness pretty much getting out of control. And thing is, I mean, I'm coming from Canada. You're seeing this everywhere, right? I mean, people getting canceled, getting fired for their points of view or their opinion. I used to have leftist views, thinking that it was wonderful to be a liberal a long time ago, because you used to stand for the things like freedom of speech and freedom of assembly and things like that, and our right to agree to disagree. I just feel the fact that now, if your point of view is different than the mainstream, they'll come after you. But at least thank goodness for sites like this. You still got to speak up, right?
Oh, definitely. Got to speak up for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Just let them. If people want to come after you, you just gotta cut the guts and just stand up. I mean, heck, freedom of speech is something that's very valuable in this day of age. If we don't have that, we got nothing, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Thank you.
All righty. The number to call, 434-658-1220. There's also a number to get in through Skype. And we're going to go ahead and keep on rolling through the calls. 504, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, man, this is Chris from Louisiana.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Yeah. Oh, not too much. I just wanted to put a bug in your ear about something I figured out and let you just give your opinion on what you think about it. You've heard of the Fairness Doctrine, right?
I think I have heard of that, but I don't know what it is.
Fairness Doctrine was a rule they had back in the day where they had to give people equal time to candidates for political debate and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then it was done away with, but I believe in the early 70s. And people think that now there's nothing like that to replace it, and that media is not held accountable. And well, media is obviously not held accountable, but that it was replaced by the equal time rule, which a lot of people don't know about. And I think I've kind of figured out a way that we can fight back and, kind of force the media, the mainstream media, to, give other opinions. So we control, as conservatives, more counties than the liberals do. That's correct, right?
Yes.
All right. So with the equal time rule, it states that political stories about candidates, all that you have to, if you say something about a particular political candidate, then you have to allow that candidate to rebut or to, give time to that candidate if that candidate is paying for that time. But they don't enforce that rule. And it's federal, I believe, so that's why they don't enforce it, because they know that at a federal level, they're just not going to deal with it. But if you're breaking a law in a county in the United States, whether or not it's a federal law or a local law, any law enforcement agency can warrant you for that violation. So if we get our sheriffs, who are elected officials, to enforce that rule at a local level, it's not going to shut the station down or anything like that, but it will be enough of a pain to where if it was done consistently, if conservatives, talk to their sheriffs and say, hey, look, you're an elected official, we want to do these kinds of things, then the little man's voice will get heard, because it's going to be a pain for those stations, those local affiliates, to get around that. And once they issue the warrant, then it has to be dealt with until the federal system comes in and says, okay, we're not going to prosecute. You see what I'm getting at?
Okay.
Yeah, are you following me?
I'm trying my best. I'll be honest.
So it's a rule that's in place, and it's a federal rule.
I got you.
But they're not going to enforce it at a federal level. But if the local
I mean, I heard what you said. Yeah, I heard that part.
Right. So you think I'm just scheming and dreaming here, or you think that?
I mean, I'm not really sure what the end. I'm not sure what the end game is here.
Well, the end game is to force them to allow, like, if Donald Trump wanted to, or if he wanted somebody to represent him on, you know, the media, the obviously biased media, then, you know, they would have to do that, and it'll stop the media from being so one-sided.
Well, I mean, that's a way that I guess it could be, you know, that could possibly make an impact, but I'm not really sure to what extent, because you also have the internet. That's a whole different ball of wax right there. How can that be regulated?
Yeah, regulating the internet is a whole different ball of wax, but the mainstream media, I mean, a lot of people listen to the mainstream media. So I feel like that would get a voice out there, because we didn't have a voice at all in mainstream media this time around. Like, everything was about how horrible Trump was and how great Biden was. So a lot of the stories, the true stories about Biden and what was going on, they weren't even heard.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
I mean, like, if people would have even heard some of that information, they might have done a little bit of research, and things might have turned out a lot different.
Well, that's the point, man. Well, I thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, man.
Thank you. All righty. Yeah, I mean, I see where he's getting at, just trying to, you know, do like a creative method and being able to get our voices out there. But the problem is so deep, it's kind of hard to really tackle. But I do see where he's coming from. 805, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, this is Cassandra.
All right, I got a little bit of background on. Turn your speaker to me for me, please.
I'm a pharmacy technician out in Kami, California.
All righty. Sorry to hear that about California. Yeah.
I was just calling briefly on the vaccine. At least in a huddle we had at work, like 90% of us were vaccinated before Trump ever left office. But now we can no longer get the vaccine. I guess we have to, so hospitals and stuff have to go through the local health department. It's only CVS and corporations like that are allowed to buy directly from the federal government. So we are prevented access.
So when Trump was in office,
to the vaccine.
So when Trump was in office, the access was easier to the vaccine, but now under Biden it's more difficult.
Well, I don't know when exactly it started. It's just that we were getting shipment after shipment, and then once we started being able to provide it to patients, and somewhere around like the last week of February, we were shut off. And when we called the local health departments, like when hospitals called to submit requests for orders, we're not allowed to get any, and they won't give us any estimate as to when we can get the vaccine. So we're pretty much at mercy of not being able to have our distributors or anything, but CVS can get it whenever they feel like it. Walmart apparently can get it whenever they feel like it. All the big corporations can, but hospitals are not allowed to have it any longer. We are not allowed to buy it directly, but they are.
That seems pretty backwards, because
just little information.
Huh?
That's just a little information, just to put it out there.
Well, it seems pretty backwards, because the hospitals should have access to it, because if you're going to get a vaccine, you probably want to go to a hospital first. That's probably where you would think first, rather than the big corporations. Maybe if somebody got their palms greased, make that whole deal happen once Biden got into the office. That's what the timeline sounds like. You're saying that, what was that, February? That's when the change happened?
Yeah, and my boss did use the word bureaucracy got in the way.
There you go. So, that's Biden, because
so no longer is the hospitals are not allowed to order directly from the federal government. Only CVS, big corporations are the only ones allowed to purchase directly from the federal government. We have to go through local offices.
Wow, crazy.
And
Absolutely
we're
crazy.
at their mercy.
Mm-mm.
So, but in case there's anybody paranoid out there, like everybody did fine on the vaccine. Like I think Moderna is probably better than Pfizer as far as side effects, but nobody's having any issues. Everybody's fine that's gotten vaccinated. Like for anybody that's still fearful out there, I mean, it seems like Pfizer people are getting a little more sick on the second shot, but as far as Moderna, anybody that got Moderna, at least at my hospital, you have like a little stiffness in the arm and the area where the injection site was. But other than that, there's not really a big side effect with Moderna, at least, as opposed to Pfizer.
Okay.
So just so people out there, if they're still paranoid, like at least for the shipments that we got, like everybody's fine. Just to let your callers know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the
And
call.
that's basically it. Yeah, no problem.
All right,
Nice
now.
talking to you. Bye.
Yeah, that's crazy though. It's totally crazy how you can have the corporations get the access to the vaccine, but the hospital, now you got to go through different channels, and it's more difficult to get it. Right after Biden comes in office, is it a coincidence? I think not. It's not Joe Biden himself doing it, obviously, but it's the people that are around Joe Biden. It's the bureaucracy, obviously, that the new bureaucracy that has come in. All right, Jordan, what's going on, boss? Your sound is not connected.
Now.
Are you good?
All right, that's good. How you doing?
Everything's right, man. Can't complain.
That's good. I wanted to talk about the college professor that got axed for the comments she made about her black students, because I've pondered over this for a while. And I talked to people, and I think I know what's really happening between the whole Baltimore thing and this. It's that all these woke leftists that pontificate or that virtue signal for black people all the time aren't actually taking the education of black folks seriously. And you could tell by like the mayor, the new mayor, Brandon Scott of Baltimore.
Yeah.
He's as old as you. And he was having a press conference, I think, before this whole thing popped up. And Project Baltimore had found something out about another school with a bunch of failing students. And instead of addressing that, he was like, "Oh, we're here to talk about violence and gun violence on the streets. We got $300 million supposed to come in for education and stuff." And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, y'all have been making the argument about the school to jail pipeline. You don't think that's important in this whole violence thing? And I think it really goes to show that any attempt at a serious discussion regarding education ends up just being a means of saying, hey, just give more money to them. There was a friend I had who had a teacher that once said, you need three things to form a school. You need a student, a teacher, and a stump to sit on. And the problem is that you can't change the student, you're unwilling to change the teacher, and you're spending all your resources on the stump they're sitting on.
You know what? The thing about Baltimore is that, in that one school especially, the kids are getting, there was $17,500 per student spent, which is a lot of money. $17,500. So the money is there. There's a deeper issue going on, and it really just starts with the parents not raising their kids properly. That's the bottom line once you really just get down to the core of it.
Yeah, it's like, and it's weird because you compare the cost of that. It's one of the highest cost per pupil in this country. Meanwhile, you got like schools in Utah that have less than half that cost, that have graduation rates at 90%, 90+%.
Check it out. According to the census, the average for K through 12 education, the average money spent per student is $12,600. The average of all schools, not black, not white, all schools. But somehow a school that is spending $17,500 is struggling like this. So the money is not even, that's not even an issue at all. So when the guy says, "Oh, we got all this money coming in," that ain't gonna do nothing. You could throw up $100,000. Like, you got to get down to the core of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And for Stacy Dash, you think she could actually take the Gina Carano route and just join the Daily Wire and whatever films they're making?
Well, Stacey Dash, the problem with Stacey Dash is that when she was on Fox News, she was not being herself. She was acting. So she needs to just be herself if you're going to be in politics. That's the issue. She needs to be herself. And if she can't do that, it's not going to work out.
No, but I know that. But I mean, in terms of her political career, not her political career, her acting career, because she has talked about being blacklisted by Hollywood after like Clueless and stuff.
Yeah, she could do that as far as acting. Matter of fact, she's in a movie right now as an anti-abortion movie, pro-life movie.
So it's Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, you can do stuff like that. You can get into more conservative roles. It's a lane for that, and it's going to be growing as you have more conservative people become more popular in culture. There will be a lane growing for stuff like that. She could do a podcast or something. She can do things in the conservative field if she wants to, but the problem is that she was not wanting to. That's the thing.
Okay, and one more thing before I go. Do you know Dave Ramsey?
Yeah, I know this story. You about to say.
You know about the whole controversy that's coming out about
Chris Hogan.
Employee? Yeah, Chris Hogan.
Yeah.
I won't talk about it right here, but ABL might address it. But just check it out, guys. Chris Hogan, Dave Ramsey, all that stuff. All right, ABL. I'll be in chat and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Peace.
Peace. All right. Shout out to Jordan for the call. Yeah, it's a good suggestion. She can go, Stacey Dash could go the Gina Carano route and do like Daily Wire and stuff like that, but there's only so many Daily Wires. Okay. I see my wife in the chat, like, what happened? So Chris Hogan got a little bit of controversy and had his hand in the cookie jar. Not stealing money, but you guys you can look into it. It's on the internet. It's a video. I think Erica Williams did a video about the whole Chris Hogan thing. He's fine, he's okay, but he's not going to be on with Dave Ramsey anymore because of something he did in his personal life that he shouldn't have been doing. But anyway, the number to call 434-658-1220. And okay, so I'm reading this here. The most spent per student in each state is New York with 24,000, DC 22,000, DC now 22,000, and DC. How are the schools doing in DC? Connecticut 20,000, Jersey 20,000, Vermont 19,000. All right, so let me see if I can find. All right, here's something right here. Because it's something about Baltimore. I'm gonna read this right quick before we get to the next call. Speaking about money spent per student in school, K through 12. Let me see if I can just put this on the screen. Okay. All right. Now, of the 100 largest based on enrollment U.S. public school systems, the 5 that spent the most per pupil in fiscal year 2018 were New York City School District in New York, 26,588. Boston, 24,177. Atlanta Public School District, 16,402. Montgomery County, MoCo, which is DC, 16,005. And Baltimore and Maryland, 15,793. So out of all the schools in Baltimore, the average is 15,793. The school that the kid had a 0.13 GPA, we're spending 17,500, which is more than Atlanta and MoCo. And even that 15,793, you're still in the top 5 of all public school systems, but a 0.13 GPA. The money ain't the problem. You got these bad kids being raised by crackhead parents, but I'm getting triggered, so pardon me. Excuse me. It's not my fault. Blame the white man for me getting triggered. Let's get to the next call. All right, 586 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, how you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself?
Good. I called in maybe a couple weeks ago. And I talked about an issue that I don't think that you really wanted to talk about, but I want to address the fact that in the comments of your video, it got like some negativity, and that's okay.
Okay.
But yeah,
Go ahead.
It was. What do you want to ask?
Nah, go ahead. You were talking. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you didn't interrupt me, but it just got some negativity, and I think that we all need to stick together as conservatives, no matter what. Like, I think there's.
So what video was this you're talking about?
I mean, I'm not really sure. It was like a week ago or a couple weeks ago, and I got through on to you with the line, and then there was like some really hateful comments after I talked to you.
Was it about you?
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah, but with what
So
I was
okay. So let's
about.
slow down. Hold on. So what were you saying last time? I don't really remember. So what were you saying last time?
I was talking about Trump supporters that were for abortion.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. Yeah. I mean,
okay.
But check it out.
But I'm not.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait.
You have to expect that it's going to happen because
I know that. That's okay.
You got to expect it.
Right.
So that's just part of it, and it's okay. It's fine. By having that type of, that belief, people aren't really going to agree a lot on this side, and that's fine. But that's just what it is.
Yeah, it's okay. It was just like after I read all the comments, it really it didn't like hurt my feelings. Well, it kind of did, but it didn't at the same time, because I feel like we should all be on the same team and be building each other up to work on the same team. But there were some comments that were like, "You're so stupid," and. But
okay, like I'm gonna just jump in. You can't go reading these comments and be thinking about them, because that'll drive you crazy. Because if I was to sit here and read all the comments and look at everything negative, I'd be crazy right now. I wouldn't be able to do the show, because I might do one video where people disagree with me, and then I'm reading all the comments and everybody's so mean. I can't.
Right.
You can't. So I tell people, like when I went to go film Jubilee, right? When I was in LA last year, right around this time last year, they told us, hey, we're going to put this out here in a few weeks, but we advise you to not read the comments. They said that to everybody that was on the show, because they understand what reading the comments can do to somebody that's not really used to that kind of stuff. I'm used to it. I've been here for years, but you may not be used to that kind of, that kind of attention.
No, I mean, it's not that. It's not even that. It's just that we, as Republicans and conservatives, we talk about everybody like chastising and jumping on each other like left over right on anything, and I was jumped on, right?
It's gonna happen. Like, it's gonna happen, but you gotta. You can't.
I talk, everything.
But look,
and that's okay. That's okay. But I just want to reach out there again and say, please don't do that to everybody. Like, there's a whole nother audience that you might be reaching out to, that you might be able to change, that you might be able to talk to, and like don't be left over right ready to jump on them, because they're listening.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but see, the thing is, people aren't going to just not be who they are. If they feel strongly about that, they're going to let you know. And then really, when you kind of feed into the comments, it makes it worse, because then they're going to say more. So just don't even really worry about it.
I mean, I never responded, but I just want to tell your audience, well, I did tell them the first time that there is a audience out there that might not subscribe to the completely, but they're open to it. And I just don't want them to feel ostracized.
Okay, I get it. I understand. But hey, that's just the nature of this thing that we do. People are going to feel very strongly about how they feel, and they're going to let you know, and they're not going to be apologizing. And that's
Well,
just
I'm speaking up. You told me to speak up last time, and I'm speaking up this
okay.
time. So
Okay, and you're
until
heard.
I do it on my own, I'm doing it on your channel. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're heard. People can hear you. So maybe someone out there feels the same way you do. Maybe that is, but
I'm sure that
some
I
don't.
did see a couple.
Okay, well, hey, there you go. Well, I thank you for the call. Appreciate you for calling in and giving your piece.
Thank you for hearing me.
All right,
Thank
now.
you for hearing me.
Take care.
Thanks for doing what you do. Keep on.
All right, now.
Thanks.
I understand where she's coming from. She's like, hey, you might be able to reach me. Don't just throw me away. I get it. But at the same time, I can't tell people to not voice how they feel. Abortion and stuff like that, that's a very serious topic. And people are just not going to, they're not going to moderate how they speak about that. And that's just, we have to expect that when we say things that people just don't like. When I do certain videos, I know that it might not go over very well, and that's okay, because I know it's just part of it. You got to be able to take them arrows and have that be what it is. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, it's Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Sandeep from India. So just wanted to talk about President Biden and Vice President Harris. This is the headline from some Indian news channel. So President Biden and Vice President Harris meet virtually with their counterparts in the Quad. So as you know, Quad is a strategic alliance of these four countries, Australia, India, and US and Japan. So I just feel it's so bizarre that why Vice President Harris is participating in such important matters. Like we have a deputy prime minister in India, but we don't even know his name. I don't know what his name is. Like the important aspect of the country is the president is supposed to participate. Why is Vice President Harris is involving in such matter, if you know?
Well, because Biden is not really capable of doing these things. I mean, when he goes out there to speak, he's very frail, doesn't know what's going on, and they give him a teleprompter. So if he's out there just talking to people and having to make up things on the fly and he's not able to be coached, he can't do it. So they send Kamala Harris out there. And I think after a certain period of time, maybe very soon, could be up to like early next year, maybe by the midterm elections, you won't see Joe Biden so much anymore. And you might have Kamala Harris take over as the president.
So, like, isn't it obvious that Biden is not in a correct state of health to hold this office? Why is he even, why was he even contesting for this position? Like,
well, because he has name recognition from being under Barack Obama as a vice president. People know who he is. And all they're going to do is say, okay, look, don't do anything. Just go out there whenever we tell you. Stay in the basement in Delaware. And we'll take care of the rest. We'll take care of the mail-in voting, whatever you need. We'll put you in office.
oh my God. And it's so bizarre. Democrats have so many like people who were right candidates for this position. They had so many good people. I think Tulsi Gabbard was amazing. The Pete Buttigieg, if I'm saying his name correctly, he was amazing. And Tulsi Gabbard is woman of color. Pete is gay, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gay?
Yeah.
And yeah, that could have been a great example. But Joe Biden.
Well, you know what? Barack Obama said that Pete Buttigieg couldn't win because he's short and gay. He said that in the book.
Oh my God.
He sure did.
Did he?
Yes. So maybe he was right. I don't know. And then Tulsi Gabbard Democrats don't like her because she's too friendly with the right. So you got to have somebody that Democrats like, an establishment person that'll take orders and do whatever you say, and that has name recognition. Okay, Joe Biden, yeah, he's 78 years old, halfway dead, but it doesn't matter. Put him in there.
Yeah, that's something like, and I wonder why Democrats are doing those kind of things. And the thing is that entire world is watching, and they're wondering what's going on in America. Like, yeah, that's the thing.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, ABL, I like the stuff what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to my man from India. All right. And to talk about that right there, I'm going to pull up what Obama said. All right. Now, this article, I just Googled it right quick. This is on LGBTQ Nation. And it says Barack Obama allegedly made fun of Pete Buttigieg for being gay and short. Hold on. A book on a 2020 presidential campaign describes a private dinner Barack had with black donors where he talked about Mayo Pete. Mayo Pete, sir. Is that some kind of gay code word you use? Bathhouse Berry, but I don't want to go down that road. Here's another one. Washington Examiner. And this headline reads, Obama claimed Buttigieg wouldn't win election because he's gay and short. So, I mean, I said that too. Because presidents are generally pretty tall, above 6 feet. Trump was 6'3". I think Biden is 6'1". Obama's about the same height, 6'1" and 6'2". I think the shortest president, the shortest president since, well, the most recent short president was Jimmy Carter at 5'9". That's not necessarily short, but it's not tall like somebody above 6 feet. Put it to you like that. All right, let's get to the next one. Number to call, 434-658-1220. 860, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, how you doing, ABL? This is Al, or otherwise known as F&A Ranger. F.A. Ranger.
All righty. What's happening?
Well, do you want to know what's really going on in the world? Seriously? My personal crazy conspiracy theory?
Let's hear it.
All right, here goes. Because I got fired from my job of 13 years back in November on a Sunday afternoon sitting at home. But 5 Democrat governors deliberately forced retirement homes to take in COVID-19 patients. We know that.
So
that's
5.
history.
So 5 Democratic, not just Cuomo, but 4 other ones.
Not just Cuomo, Michigan, Newsom. Yeah, it's 5 of them, all forced. And what they did was they violated the constitutional rights of those elderly patients and of their families by denying them the ability to leave, making them prisoners of the state against their will without a crime being charged or a court hearing or bail set. That is a direct violation of the United States Constitution, Title 18, Section 242, deprivation of rights under color of law. I spent 4 years in the Army defending the United States Constitution. I was a radio teletype operator, and once in a while, I had to send and receive messages for a 3-star general in charge of 3 countries worth of nuclear missiles. So I've actually read messages from Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan, Joint Chiefs of Staff, people like that. And I've never talked about it until this past year, but I was in Beijing, China, October 8th, and I saw the Chinese going nuts. This is not my first time going through Beijing to transfer planes. 4th time. They had 3 times the number of security in the airport. They were going ballistic. We went through, everything came out of our bags, more, twice. And then they had one final checkpoint when you thought you were on the airplane, going down the jetway. To get on the airplane, they have one more checkpoint for a list of special Chinese people. And they took everything apart and searched them again. When they search you, you go through the body scanner. Then they hand one you. Then they pat you down. and they take every single item out of every single thing you got, and it goes into a tray through the x-ray, and they look at it. I mean, it takes a while to get through there. I told my wife, and that was the only time that I was ever afraid for my family. I mean, I used to jump out of airplanes, all that stuff. I'm not afraid because I know what I can do. And, you know, I've accepted the fact. But I was afraid for my wife and kids. I told my wife, I said, don't you ever, ever get us Air China tickets ever again. I didn't realize what was going on at the time. But now it all makes sense to me that these 5 governors, Amazon, he got rich from China. Cancel culture is directly from China. This is a Chinese government tactic with their 50-cent army. They massively attack. And what they're attacking is Dr. Seuss. That are books that teach our children how to become literate. If more single black mothers read Dr. Seuss, that poor boy in Baltimore would have a higher grade point average. You follow me?
Yes.
Okay, so when they violated the Constitution, and they did that on purpose because Como's a lawyer. I'm a high school dropout. I at least read the document that I put my butt on the line to defend. Going back to the racism thing, in 1970, I found myself to be the only dirty white honky in an all-black ghetto school in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 113 miles from Detroit. You know what they were doing in Detroit in 1970? Race riots.
Yeah.
Not an easy time to be a 9-year-old kid trying to make it home alive.
Right.
That school was actually shut down for being too violent in 1974. And that was my, was my introduction to what racism was. And I'm not a subscriber. But when Alex Haley wrote the book, Roots, America, the whole country stopped and started looking at their roots. My father and his 8 brothers and sisters hired a genealogist to find out that our family were serfs in Bavaria, snuck away in the middle of the night with money they'd secreted away, got on a ship, used that money to bribe the ship to bring them to America, sold their 2 oldest sons into indentured servitude to pay for the voyage. Now, if you go back and look at the Smithsonian, first African slave was owned by Anthony Johnson, a black Angola man who was was captured by a hostile tribe, sold to Muslim slave traders, bought by an Englishman because Virginia, back in 1635, when he got his indentured servitude finished, became a landowner, had 4 white indentured servants and 1 black guy. The black guy, Cesar, he took the court and screwed him out of his freedom for life and made him the first African slave and put an end to the indentured servitude. And I know this because I lived through Roots and all that stuff. I'm 60 years old. I watch Jesse Lee Peterson and Tommy Sotomayor, and they had a great show that I watched where they were together. Tommy was on with Jesse. It was a great show. But to tie all this together with Jesse and all them, Democrats are primarily run by the women, and they promote feelings. When you get the man out of the house, the man is logical, thinks, okay, logically, and they take that away from the young boys, and they get the young boys to start acting like women, emotional, violence, anger, feelings, not logically thinking, well, I'll bide my time and let it go, and then things work out. But this was all done to steal a presidential election. This virus, I believe, was done on purpose, and I believe it was a joint effort to make us slaves. They want to destroy the Constitution of the United States. They directly violated it. I mean, they can't get, if you read Title 18, Section 242 on the United States website, it's a direct violation of an official. And it's also the one that dictates what police officers and prison guards are held to.
I got you. But, hey, it's been a great call, but I got a few more on the line I got to get to, man. So.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Yep, you too. Bye.
All righty. Yeah. Now, shout out to my wife. She just sent me this on Facebook. This is where this is where you might be getting your mask. So when you next time you put on that blue surgical mask, you got to ask yourself, where did it really come from? Okay, you may have already seen this video, but I'm gonna put it on the screen right quick, just so you guys can see what's going on. You already see this is a sketchy scene right away, but let's see how they're making those nice sanitary safe face masks for you. On the ground. This looks like some kind of slum in India. They're sitting on the ground, no shoes, barefoot. Now, is that what you want to put on your face? I'm not really sure.
No.
So, the choice is yours. The choice is yours. Let's get to some more calls. Number to call, 434-658-1220. Also, please like the video. If you're not liked it already, go ahead and like the video. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that as well. YouTube has allowed me to gain subscribers again. So shout out to YouTube for doing that. I appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Can't complain. Let's get to... All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Hello. I've called here twice before. I'm from southeastern Iowa.
Alrighty.
I'm 15. I just came here to talk about, because I heard the call from the lady who was talking about mean comments on YouTube. I run a podcast, a conservative podcast, and yeah, that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it does happen. That's just part of the game.
Yeah. The whole cancel culture stuff is infiltrated everywhere. I mean, even just talking to people online, like random people, it seems like everyone online is super liberal. I'm just saying the reason everyone online is liberal is because they don't have anything else to do. The conservatives are the ones with the calluses on their hands, and the liberals are the ones typing away on Twitter. I just actually came here to ask you a question. Are you on Gab?
No, I'm not on Gab.
Okay. Are you on Parler?
Nah, I never did Gab or Parler because I figured Parler was a little bit too insecure for me, and when it kind of
Parler's kind of freaky.
Yeah, and Gab, I just don't really see the purpose.
Yeah, did you hear what Greg Abbott was talking about Gab, calling it anti-Semitic?
Really? Greg Abbott did that?
Yeah, the governor of Texas.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
He called it anti-Semitic, and personally, I have seen anti-Semitism, but they usually get smacked down pretty hard by the other people on Gab. So,
I mean, that's everywhere.
That's what happens when you allow free speech.
Yeah, I mean, it's everywhere. You can find that on YouTube, Twitter, anywhere. It's not a thing that's specific to one particular platform.
Yeah, I know. So I just thought I'd let that out because I saw that, and guy that owns Gab is not very happy about it, as you can imagine.
Of course.
No, I just wanted to call in, say hi. Nice talking to you. Every single time I call, you're super friendly. You got a great show going, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Yep. No problem.
All right. Great call from the young man, 15 years old. Like I said, already got them big brains, man. 300 IQ. Love it. And yeah, a lot of the clothes factories are like that, where it's not really sanitary. So when I get new clothes, I wash them immediately, because I don't know where it was, how I got put in the shipping bag or whatever the case. I'm washing that immediately. But with the mask, people put it just right on their face. They just throw it right on, not even really worried about where it was before they got into your face. All right, let's get to the next one here. Let's go. All right, 631, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, Anthony.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing all right. Can't complain.
You were down here, 'cause I know you're hearing it.
Yes, I am.
Okay, hold on. Okay. The thing on reparations, I'm having a stroke over. Because I'm does anybody read American history? I mean, because the original slaves here were Irish. I don't see Irish people holding out their hands saying, give me reparations. Then the black slaves that came here were slaves in Africa.
Yes.
Don't you think they should go to Africa and ask for reparations first?
That's what I was saying. Africa, that'd be the place.
And there had to be rich white people here to own a slave. So That I want to make clear too.
And then,
It's almost like the illegal aliens.
And then beyond
They
that,
came in
one more thing.
with their hand out.
Huh?
Give me everything, you know? So people today in 2021 looking for reparations?
No. And
I
then
they got reparations when they were freed.
And then hold on. One more thing I gotta add is that a lot of the white people that are here now came after slavery was over with. So
Yeah, my ancestors didn't even own a slave.
yeah.
They landed in Brooklyn, you know. But I mean, I seriously don't understand what this Sheila Lee Jackson or whoever it is that's starting this thing with the reparations is a disgusting human being. I don't know why she is in Congress. I don't know why any of those women are in Congress. It's mostly women, if you notice, that are very nasty, don't let you talk, and dumb as dirt. I mean, it's just, I really don't understand that. Because the black slaves here got reparations when they were freed.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did.
So
40 acres and a mule.
No, they were promised that, but they didn't get that.
Oh, I thought they did.
No, they didn't. But see, that's my viewpoint. It's
They
like
did.
if they were going to get reparations out, it should have happened back then. It should happen back then because you can identify the slave and the slave owner. But now, many years later, how can anybody identify, like, everybody that was around back then has been dead for a long time. So it doesn't make any sense.
This is just opening a whole bag of worms because then you could go to the Holocaust. What should they get? The ones that lived through the Holocaust, the Jews.
I don't know what
Christians.
people, they said some people did this. Huh?
It's on the same thing. I mean, it's some maniac. I don't know. It was legal back then to have slaves, I guess, if they bought them from Africa, right? Or bought them from Ireland. It has to be, legal, a legal thing. They paid for them.
It was a slave
I'm not
trade.
saying it's right.
It was a
Trust
slave.
me, I think it's completely insane.
Not like.
But that was the legal law then, I think.
Yes,
I really do.
It was.
And
yes.
they really have to go after Africa first. Stop putting your hand out here. How much money do you think we got?
Now the thing is, if it's going to be paid out, it's from my own.
It's not.
Wait, hold on. If it's going to be paid out, be from my own tax money. So it's like people say, okay, do you want a check? It's like, well, if you're going to take my money and give it back to me, it doesn't make any sense. I don't really understand. It's a thing that is really not even going to happen because
How could they pay down $24,000 for something they never were involved in?
it's just wokeness.
What'd you say?
It's wokeness.
It's insanity. Every day I look at something. I'm ashamed of this country. I really am. At this point, Meghan Markle was a total embarrassment talking about the royals like that on Oprah.
Well, beyond Meghan Markle, how about Prince Harry? Both of them. It's like you got two numbnuts.
Prince Harry, you got to remember the day he was born. He was trained to be a royal. He doesn't know how to talk to normal people. He asked Jay-Z to get Beyonce jobs. And I was laughing hysterical. I said, I guarantee you he got that in his head from her, from Meghan Markle.
Yeah, so you got to be a little bit tougher. Got to be tougher than that.
I do not think that he knows how to speak to regular people. You know, he was brought up proper and, went to special schools to be a royal.
Right.
And there are a lot of things that you have to be to marry into royalty.
I got you, but I got a lot more calls on the line, so I'm gonna get to a few more. Thank you for the call.
All
Definitely
right.
appreciate you.
We'll let you go.
All righty.
I love you.
All righty.
Bye-bye.
All right. Hey. Wow, these calls, I'm telling you, great calls. Shout out to y'all. You guys are funny. I'm going to leave it at that. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Hey, if you've been drinking, don't. Just don't. I'm not saying she was. I was just reading the comments. If you've been drinking, don't. That's it. All righty. 919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
You're speaking to Harold. How you doing?
I'm doing it right. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm an African-American male, and I just want to make a comment about that young man in Baltimore with that 0.13 point grade average.
Yeah.
Well, how come during the summer I didn't see anybody burning down schools or tearing up schools or all these woke progressives and liberals? Where were they?
That's a good question. I mean, because if you got a school doing that to these kids, and not just him, but the whole school, nobody can read, but the teachers iced out. Rolexes, cufflinks, nice cars, watches, black teachers. So it's like, okay, what's really going on here? Is it a scam? Is it a hustle? Yeah, so you got to make a very good point.
Well, it's not a hustle. It's basically, as long as it's in the black neighborhoods, they don't care. I have arguments with my daughter every day. She's talking about, oh, they should spend more money on schools. It's not about the money you spend. It's about how it's spent. Baltimore is the fifth largest school system in the country, and they spend the fifth largest amount per capita on students, and you got kids that can't read and write.
Exactly. So the money's not the issue. They got plenty of money. There's a deeper problem that has to be addressed.
And again, when I run into these liberals, I say, how come you guys don't march on crack houses? How come you don't burn down gang houses? How come you don't protest in front of these schools that are producing black kids that can't read and write? You know what I get? I get silence.
Yeah, because they have nothing to say. They don't think that deeply. They think very surface and just trying to be virtue signaling, but they don't think about real issues and actual solutions to problems.
And another thing, if we didn't get reparations with Obama in 8 years, it ain't never going to happen.
He never
hang up and listen.
He never even mentioned it. And then he came out later and said, oh, I didn't mention it because of white Republicans. It's like, man, stop. You did everything else for everybody else. You know, illegal aliens, LGBT, stop.
Well, he had the Senate and the House for 2 years of his 8 years.
Sure did.
And he didn't do anything. So, and one more thing, ABL, they're giving us $1,400. They give each illegal immigrant $1,100 when they cross the border. Hello.
Crazy.
You take care.
Thank you for the call. That's an excellent call. Great call. Straight to the point. Right on it. It's like you want to be marching and tearing stuff down. How about these crack houses? How about these failing schools? How about that? I'm going to pull up this thing. Augusta Fells. Hold on. Augusta Fells Savage. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you these teachers. Well, I'm going to show you this one guy. And this guy, I may play the sound, maybe. Hold on. Let me see if I can turn it on. So this is like part of the graduation here. And I want you to take, if you could see it, I want you to look at his ice, his jewelry, and way he's dressed. All right, hold on. So that's him right there. And sorry for the small picture, but it is what it is. It's not my fault.
And as a result of it, you're going to have a ton of stories to tell a lot of people for years and years and years to come. I mean, it seems like it's just been like a whirlwind, right? Between COVID-19 and the protests.
Look, I'm seeing nice tie, vest, nice shirt, very well done, manicured up, eyebrows done, goatee, hair, all of that. This ain't,
and the effect that
some starving teacher
it's had on the entire world.
I'm seeing
an overall social
a fashionable ring on his finger. Like this is one of my I have a regular wedding ring, but this is just what I probably wear every day. But you see his rings iced out.
Unjust. And just to put it on a personal level, the things that
see, it's a ring right there.
That you've even
watch, cufflinks, all of that. I mean, I have cufflinks, so I don't really wear cufflinks. This guy is working at Augusta Fells. I forget what he is. Let me see if I can see it right here. Hold on. Now they don't show it right there, but he's working there just like this.
That going on in your school before the quarantine started. It's just been a very, very, very
Look at his ring.
And unusual year. As a result of it, it could be really easy to lose.
And then there's somebody else. It's a lady, and then look at her jewelry there. Iced out. But yet, little Raheem can't read. So what's really going on? You tell me. You over here wearing your Sunday's best, iced out. You ain't missing no meals at all. But Raheem can't read. But I digress. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next call. These are teachers and administrators from Augusta Fells, the school in Baltimore where you had a 0.13 GPA. That's them. They work there. Everybody's black too. All the teachers, like, it's a black school. So where's the excuse? You got plenty of money, resources. The issue is that you're in the ghetto and you got these parents that don't care. They let their kids pretty much do whatever. And then the teachers can't really do much. And also some of them don't care as well. So you have failure from the top to the bottom. And it starts with the parents. 443, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Shane Fitzgerald, Baltimore, Maryland.
All right. Speaking about Baltimore, what's going on?
It's a mess down here, man.
I see.
Yeah, I mean, everything's crazy. I mean, from the trash, the school system, and they can't get anything right.
And it's
murders.
It's weird because, you know, I come from Virginia, which ain't that far away. You know, I come from like Norfolk, Hampton Roads, that area. And it's not like this. You know, I come from a poor area too, and the schools are not like this. You have kids that can actually read in low income areas. So it's like people aren't really addressing the actual problem, and they're just throwing more money at the situation, not making it better.
Exactly. Like everybody keeps saying on here, they're one of the fifth or sixth highest funding in the country.
Yeah.
And it's terrible.
Yep.
It's crazy out here.
So, I mean,
I went to Baltimore City schools. I ended up getting my GED when I was 16. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't that bad then. You know, I still learned something.
So what changed? I mean, really, what changed between then and now?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So what changed in between then and now, when you went and then now?
I think it's more that parents aren't giving their kids no attention.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't even right.
Right? It makes sense to me. Makes total sense. All righty, man. Well, I thank you for the call.
Like I said, I feel like it starts at the home. I mean, parents gotta pay more attention to their kids. But yeah, I'll let you get back to some other callers. I appreciate you answering.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care, bro.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, man, it made a lot of sense. Parents not paying their kids any mind, just letting them just be unattended and roaming the streets, dope boys and everything else. You got these 12-year-old kids out there running dope. Parents don't care. Parents getting some of the money from the parents. Like I done seen kids paying bills in their mom's house when they 12, 13 years old. How you gonna get a job at that age? What are you doing? They know what they're doing. They don't even care. It's a bad situation. 304, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, it's Adrienne.
All righty. What's going on?
Thank you, ABL. I'll get to the point. This is all about dividing each other. When it's us against them. With regards to cancel culture, what they're doing is you change the word, you change the meaning of the words, then you can control the argument. When you don't fall in line, it's character assassination, which frightens people so much they shut up, and then boom, you have self-censorship. And that's what they are hoping to achieve. This is all about humiliate, demoralize, confuse, and divide. It's us against them, ABL.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I got. People need to stick together. don't fight each other. It's not us. It's them. And they believe it's China's turn. Listen carefully where China's concerned. Yeah, China came out and said, we're building strong men. The next day, Biden says, we're changing hairstyles and putting them in pregnancy suits. That was like, we're good, you know? That was crazy. His speech was humiliating, demoralizing. It was meant to confuse and divide. That's all I got. Thank you, ABL.
Thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
Keep it up.
All right. Good call. Good call. All righty. 919, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, my name is Nina. I just wanted to say I like your shirt that you made.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. That's all I wanted to say. Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Wow. Hey, I'm not sure whose kid that was, but how old was that kid that called in? Wow. Hey, I'm about to get an Indian tear right here, about to fall right out my face. That was great. So shout out to your parents. If parents, mom, dad, if you're watching, shout out to y'all for having your kids watch some good, wholesome entertainment. All right. Wow. All right. How you gonna top that, right? (361) you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
AB, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Good. Love what you're doing. Just watching the show live. Question for you.
All righty.
What's it going to take to get this country back? Because obviously, the way we're going, it won't take long before a lot of our rights are being taken away or removed. So what do you think it's going to take to correct the direction we're going, change the direction, and what's it going to take to get this country back to where it needs to be?
Well, I think it's going to it'll take all of us as just people to take it back. You know, if you don't like the way things are going, like with the voting, that's probably one of the biggest issues. If we don't like the way things are going, we have to be involved. We can't just let things happen to us. We have to be the ones that make things happen in our local areas. Because the way it is now is like an establishment set up wherever we live. When we go to vote, we just kind of take it for granted, not even really worrying about who is actually, sitting across the table from us, taking our ID and scanning the ballot. We have to be in these places so we don't just have whatever happened. And we got to do that all over the nation. Is it going to be an overnight thing? Maybe not, but it must happen. We have to be more involved in a civil way in our communities. And if we can run for office and do that as well. If we can just be more engaged in the community without necessarily being political, whatever, it's going to be up to us. If we're just letting things go the way they're going and we're not really involved, then things are going to continue the way they've been continuing, and there won't be any kind of changes.
And I think you've said that before in one of your podcasts or a few of them long time ago. But when the court system is not allowing any of these cases to be heard, including the Supreme Court, which I know you're very well aware of, what is going to be the next logical step?
I mean, I've already answered that one. I know where you're going. I'm not going to say that, but I've already answered this question, so we can move on to the next one.
All right, man. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, let's not, if you're going to just ask something, just ask it. I know what you want to ask, but I've already said what I want to say. And, we can't have the defeatist attitude. We can't just go into it like that, like we're not going to be able to get heard. Well, you got to be able to make your case get heard. You got to be able to be involved. You got to be able to be in these positions to have things happen, to make yourself heard. Be the judges. Be the people that count the votes. Be these people. If you just let the system just work and you're not even involved and you're not trying to get involved, then things are going to be going the way they go. And you want to try to fight what? What are you going to try to fight? And fight who? And who's going to be the people that support you? So we know you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Carolina from San Antonio, Texas. How are you doing, ABL?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing all right here in Texas. We survived from this winter crazy snow.
Yeah, crazy winter.
But I wanted to say thank you to you, like always going live when you can and sharing all this information with us and keeping us updated and stuff. And for real, shout out to the parents that let the little girl speak, because that was really beautiful.
It was.
That was
absolutely.
really cute. That really did touch my heart as well. That was beautiful. But going based on the school stuff issue, it's crazy that they don't even mention how the Trump administration, they really did fund these schools. He funded a lot of money, and the schools were not even open. Some schools were not even open. So where did really the money went to? I think they should be held accountable on these teachers not really really actually educating the kids the right way. But I guess they a lot of states, Democrat states, they don't even care anymore where the money goes. As long as they're getting money in their pocket, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
It's like one of those it's like one of those things like money comes in and BS walks away,
Right.
So to me, it's just ridiculous. But here in Texas, a lot of the schools are already reopening. Here in Texas, we had enough. We had enough, and I'm thankful that the Governor Abbott at least lifted the whole mask issue and let everybody know to reopen their restaurants and stuff and lobbies, because it's a breath of fresh air.
Definitely, it's needed.
But just wanted to say thank you to you, and I basically only follow the YouTubers. I don't even watch the news anymore. So it's just ridiculous how the news media turn things around and how Biden gets like a slap in the wrist when they don't even do a press conference on him anymore. They don't even question him why. But every time when he's on stage and he goes, "Oh, okay, well, I'm ready to take any questions," and then they cut him off. That, to me, that's really crazy. But they were so always on Trump, like, hey, well, what about this? Asking him tough questions, he always had a straight answer. To me, how they did this election, it was ridiculous, because the news media, obviously, they made it orange man, bad man, vote him out, no matter who was against him, instead of actually looking at the reality, what really was on stakes for the United States. And for former vice president to be the chief right now, that's ridiculous. To me, it's like, no. It's like another era of Obama issue again.
Right.
Absolutely. But again, I just wanted to say thank you and keep doing what you're doing, and don't let them scare you, and keep fighting. And we're here to support you no matter what.
Well, thank you for the call. I appreciate you.
All righty, sir. Bye.
All righty. Great call. Great call. A lot of great calls tonight. Thank you to everybody that's called in tonight so far. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please give the video a thumbs up. Share the video, like the video, do all that good stuff. And if you're not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're waiting on, but go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. And if you want to hear this show as an audio-only version, it will be available on your favorite audio streaming platform on Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Anchor, etc. A link to that will be in the description box below. Let's get to the next one. 586 to the line. Who am I speaking to? Okay, 586 hung up. The cold feet. I don't know what happened. 973 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony. Speaking to Gina from Jersey. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Doing very good. Very good. So I just want to make a quick comment, and that's all. I think, so we have a lot of issues in this nation. Actually, we have racism, socialism. They say we have all these issues, but I believe there's an underlying issue, and I believe those are the fruits, not the roots. I believe our nation has a theological problem. They want to take God out of the equation, and all you're left with is destruction. I mean, that's where the racism stems from. That's where these communistic ideas stem from. You keep pulling God out of the equation, you're left with nothing good. You're left with evilness, bitterness, all this destruction around us. So people tend to think, well, if we remove this statue and we erase this part of history, or we get rid of that and we try to redo it. Yeah, you erase history, it's bound to repeat itself. And not only that, it's going to repeat itself even worse. So I think the main issue is people are just trying to take God out of the equation. And once you do away with God completely, you're left with nothing good. And I think that's where this nation is headed. I know some people won't agree, but I do believe that the racism and socialism, I believe that's a fruit and not the root. So I just wanted to chime in and say that.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, Anthony. Take it easy. Bye.
I know. It makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. For some people, this whole hating Trump thing is their God. 860, you're the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Yes.
ABL, it's Sonia. I didn't think I was going to get through. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm literally listening to the show. All right. So, did you ever see that SNL skit? I don't watch them anymore, but when I used to before all this happened, there was one with Leslie Jones, and she was pretending that she was Meghan Markle's niece from the hood, and she was going to talk to the Queen at some event, and they did a little thing about it, and it was really funny. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen that.
It's called Etiquette or something like that, Etiquette Lesson. But it was so funny because I thought about Sharon Osbourne. I don't watch the talk either, but when I heard them speaking about, I guess, what Piers Morgan said about her, I don't even know what he said. It seemed like she had to apologize for what someone else said and whether or not she agreed with it. And she was just trying to say her piece, that that's her friend, and she didn't really, agree with what he said. But what is the difference between saying something about someone you don't like and them, if they happen to be black, does that make you racist? Maybe he just doesn't like Meghan. But I don't know what Piers said about her at all.
Yeah, it wasn't even, he was just saying, he was just like criticizing her the same way he would criticize anybody else. But, it becomes complicated because he knows her already and she's black and all this and that. It's just getting weird over there in UK with all the wokeness.
Yeah, and then Sean King, I don't know if he's mixed or if he pretends to be black. I'm really not clear on the answer on that. But if you look at Meghan, isn't she white adjacent using their terminologies?
I don't even know, what does that mean?
That anybody who is like, I guess, on the privilege scale, right? You're white adjacent, like they're saying Asians now. They're not considered minorities because they're successful everywhere they go. So they remove them from the minority category and they actually put them into white adjacent. But if you just look at Meghan, since everything is just about how you look and your skin, I would say Meghan is white adjacent.
Well, they use that whenever it's convenient. They say you're white adjacent when they can't necessarily claim you and use you for their own purposes. So when someone says, hey, you're talking about all this black pain and frustration and hurt and you can't get ahead, how about them over there? Oh, they're white adjacent. They don't count. But then it comes to Meghan Markle, who really kind of appears white. Oh, she's a black princess. Mm-hmm. She's a queen because she didn't get into the royal palace. So they pick and choose whenever they want to use that term.
And it's hypocritical because in both cases, she wouldn't necessarily know what the black struggle is really like, right?
Yeah, right.
Do you know anything about this surprise Easter egg that they said AOC was talking about on her Instagram that was sneaked into the stimulus package?
I don't.
Okay. I heard about it in passing, didn't see it. And somebody called in and said that the immigrants who cross the border, they get $1,100 from the stimulus package?
I don't know exactly how they get in it, where it's from, but I have heard that. I'm not sure really what's going on there.
Oh, my God. Well, I'll let you go, but before I do, I'll just say this. If it were me, they would have to drag me out of the palace by my hair, and I'll still be holding my tea and crumpets at the time.
Absolutely. Thank you for your call.
Ciao for now. Bye.
Great call. 214, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Sandy. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
Hi, I'm doing great. Thank you. So I'm calling because it's really crazy to me. So I live here in Texas, and I'm from Dallas, and the governor of Texas, took the mask mandate. But it's crazy how so many people are still, demanding to have the mask on. And even though we have the 100% capacity and we have the mask mandate removed, we have so many places here in Texas, well, at least in Dallas, so many restaurants who are opposed to that, so many stores where we still have to wear it. And it's like, what's the whole point of removing the mask mandate? So, I mean, what's your opinion on that? Like, what do you think? I feel like people, it's like instead of like, trying to get back to the normal, it's like people want to get stuck. They want to be in chains. They want to be, they want the government to tell them what to do.
Yeah, I mean, some people are like that because they feel like if they obey the government, then everything will be fine. They think that if they do whatever the government tells them, then they won't catch the virus and they'll be just fine. Although that's not reality, people believe that. And then they just go out there and they behave that way.
Yeah, and it's crazy. Like, I'm here shopping. I actually went to this local Ross here, and it's crazy how you still have like the sign. It's like, okay, well, I'm trying to breathe. I'm trying to, be released from this COVID. Well, I mean, we're not going to be released from this COVID thing anytime soon, right? But what I'm saying is like, you want to be free. And what's the whole point of, him taking off the mask mandate and people are like continue to ask for it? They're actually opposed to that. Like, they're actually mad at the government for giving us that liberty in Texas. And I just don't get it. I mean, to me, it's just crazy, but that's all I wanted to comment on. And, I do thank you for everything you do. I love watching you. So I'm actually watching you now. So I'm going to go I'm actually going to go back live again. So you have a good one.
Thanks for your call.
Thanks. You take care. Bye-bye.
All righty. Let's get to this. Okay. If you already called before, I can't take your call. Like if you call earlier today, I can't take your call. Like one call per night. That's the rule. All right. So I think that'll pretty much wrap it on up. Thank y'all for being here tonight. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet. Could not ask for better. If you've enjoyed the show tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and do that right now as well. And this show will be available as audio only on your favorite audio streaming platform: Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, Apple iTunes. There you go, Apple iTunes. Whatever you want to listen to it on, there's a link for that in the description box below, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. And thank y'all again for being here. Shout out to the mods for keeping them trolls in check, kicking them, booting them, whatever you got to do, and keeping the conversation nice and family friendly. And thank you to everybody that's called in, watched, whatever you're doing. I got super chats to read, and then I'm going to wrap it on up, put the bow on the top. And again, thank y'all for joining. Let's get to the first one where I left off. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. All right. Shout out to Matt, who says 6-year vet. We didn't let pregnant women even guard a gate. Exactly. Makes sense. Shout out to Miles Davis, who says, did Obama send money to the Wuhan lab? If so, when? Also, Philly gun violence is a lot worse than 2019. Crazy. Shout out to Watts, who says, here's to the remaining free thinkers out there. Thank you. I appreciate you, boss. Shout out to Frank, who says, cancel culture messing with Speedy Gonzalez and Pepe Le Pew. Now it's personal. Shout out to Wes, who says, every person is a person of color unless white is no longer a color. Amy V says, I'm tardy. Have we talked about Minneapolis and $27 million payout to his family? What? You know what that is, because they anticipate Derek Chauvin possibly getting off, so they're trying to calm the riots, in my humble opinion. Let me see. Charlene S. says, 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people, which are called by name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sin and will heal their land. Jeff Donhauser says, why do reparations have to come from our government? That's everyone's money. We didn't support slavery. Slavery made whites less money because it set wages low. Thank you to Angel Rivera for your donation. And back to the thing about reparations, Because people are demanding money and they don't know where else to get it aside from the government, just like any other like benefit. That's all. Shout out to Frank, who says, when Biden becomes the pusher man for Big Pharma, then be very suspicious of the poison vaccine. Shout out to A Long Story Short, who says, please get YouTuber Akatune TV on the show. Shout out to my man Akatune TV, big fan for a long time. Marcus Edwards says, ABL, do you think the Senate will pass H.R. 8 and an assault weapons ban that Senator Dianne Feinstein proposed? That's a good question. I don't know. That's going to be a hard one. Because although the Democrats have the majority in the Senate, it's a slim majority. And it requires everybody and the 2 independents plus Kamala Harris. So, I mean, Joe Manchin, some of these guys is going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be a senator in West Virginia and ban guns. I don't know how you're really going to be able to do that. Is he running it again? I don't know what's going on, but it's going to be kind of hard. Let me see. Lewis from Spain says, Sarah Silverman made some incredible offensive jokes about Mexicans that she should be considered the face of the white supremacists. Shout out to Jacqueline for the thumbs up donation. Thank you to Laura, who says, about the girl who was upset about the comments, there is a lot of diversity of thought among Trump supporters. She can't expect us all to agree. Exactly. That's just, not everybody's going to have the same point of view, and people feel very passionate about their beliefs, especially about abortion. So you're going to have to expect those comments to come. It is what it is. Shout out to Maybe Baby, who says, thank you for always giving me something to think about, and no problem. Wayne, shout out to you, says, hashtag Soto Nation. Shout out to Tommy Sotomayor, the OG in this YouTube game. Shout out to Bryden, who says, I'm the white man. Blame me. Great show as usual. ABL 2024. Thank you. Shout out to Travis, who says, I'm trying to be self-employed. I have a degree in computer engineering. I'm not sure how to start. What do you recommend? Well, you have to be able to identify a need and fulfill the need. Identify like a blind spot in some kind of area and fill it. Like when I was coming out and, working, like, getting money for the first time when I was like 2021, I knew that guys needed like flyers and promotional material and ways to promote their business. So that's what I focused on, was that. And I was able to do okay with that. And it just kind of went from there. Just being able to identify a need, identify a way to make your skills useful and utilizing that. That's probably the best way I can explain it. Now, I'm not really sure what skills you have with your degree, what you're able to actually do right now. But think about people need. What do people need that your skills can provide? Can you code? Can you get into the website game? Can you develop software? Apps, that's a big one. Apps, can you develop apps? Everybody wants an app. So maybe you can get involved with that. So just think about ways to use your skills in a creative way. That's probably the best way to go about it. If you game at all, when you gaming, like if you play like one of these RPG games or whatever, and you're learning certain skills, you get the basic skills in the beginning. And as you go throughout the game, you're learning more and more skills. And there's more ways to utilize your skills as the game progresses. And you got to get creative with puzzle solving and stuff like that if the game involves that. Think about yourself in the same way. Like what I do right now as far as this here, I was a graphic designer. Now I know how to edit video, create websites. So I have my own website and I know how to write. Been knowing how to write since I've been a little boy. So I write on my website. I design my own website. I design my own merch. I do my own videos, obviously. I know how to edit. I do everything myself. I could do some things. I have some things where it's not just me doing it. I'm not, stitching the merch or, making the wooden flags. Obviously, some things are not done by me, but for the most part, I do everything. And if you are doing a business for yourself, you think about having some of those skills you can give to others, you can sell to others. And shout out to Airborne Poet for the donation that says cool. All right. Shout out to y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internet, but that'll be a wrap for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.